stand tall. Words are blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited minds sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena there's no chance to escape the vibrant lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Will be heard. Will be heard.
This is straight talk, leads to straight understanding. Straight talk. S.T.S.u. This is straight talk, leads to straight understanding. Straight talk. S.T.S.u. This is straight talk, leads to straight understanding. Straight talk. S.T.S.u. This is straight talk, leads to straight understanding. Straight talk. S.T.S.u. This is straight talk, leads to straight understanding. Straight talk. S.T.S.u. This is straight talk, leads to straight understanding. Straight talk. S.T.S.u. This is straight talk, leads to straight understanding. Straight talk. S.T.S.u. This is straight talk, leads to straight understanding. Straight talk. S.T.S.u. This is straight talk, leads to straight understanding. Straight talk. S.T.S.u. This is straight talk, leads to straight understanding. Straight talk. S.T.S.u.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yes, this is Sean Bolden, Sean B, and this is Straight Talk, leads to straight understanding. Luke, what's going on, everybody? I hope you had a good week. I hope it was great since the last time I saw you. And this episode that we're going to do today, that we're about to do, is going to be with a special guest, a special invited guest. Her name is the Wife School Podcast. Phenomenal woman. Has a lot of insight on a lot of different things. But today we're going to be speaking about one specific thing. And that one specific thing will be only one you can trust is yourself. Again, only one you can trust is yourself. Now, how many of y'all feel that way? How many of y'all feel the only one that you can trust is yourself?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I don't see you, but I hear you.
You can see the
All
chat.
right. Do you see me? Do you
Yeah.
see the? Oh, you see me? I don't see you. My
Uh-oh. Hey.
let me see if I can help that out. This new thing here is working on. We're trying to figure it out. Let me see, shortcuts. I need to be able to see her. I cannot see her to my. Okay, I see one like. I see one like. So everybody, I thank you for joining my Facebook family, my YouTube family, my Instagram family, and thanks most of all, my family, the one and only. Introducing young lady that I met through these internet streets, and we have built a great relationship and a great rapport. I enjoy her perspective. I enjoy her point of view. She is teaching people, including myself, a lot of things. She is my go-to when it comes to scripture. She is my go-to reference point. In case you need any information on scripture, she is the person that can help you. And if she can't help you, she got places and resources that she can go to help
Mhm.
us. And with all that being said, I want to welcome her to the stage, my friend, fellow podcaster, uh, woman of value,
I got
Miss the Life School Podcast. Welcome to the stage. Welcome to the stage. Now, I
Hola,
still can't see you.
everyone. Hola, everyone.
Yes, I
I
still
am
cannot see
happy to be.
her.
It's
Peter,
okay.
I
Can't see
cannot.
me?
No, I cannot see. All I see is me, and I don't want to see me. I got
That's
a
right. You
mirror.
can't see me. You can't see me. John Cena. No, so I'm just playing.
Ah, there you go. There you go. I was on the wrong page. I'm
No.
a. That's
Hello,
what's up.
everybody. I am just honored to be here with my beautiful YouTube co-laborer and Mr. Peter on talking about the topic of trust. Definitely a subject we need to address, which is the foundation of relationships between friends, family, lovers, children, everything. So we need to talk about trust.
Absolutely. And the only one person you can trust is yourself for some reason. What's up, Dave? Oh, that's not. Yes, yes, sir. What's going on?
We gotta get
Now,
your eyes checked, bro. We gotta get your eyes checked.
no, we what we need to do is get technical check because I'm on two pages. See, over here, I am on a page where I have a background and everything. Over here, I'm not. So that's why it was hard for me to go back. So I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it right. Let's see. I'm gonna try and get the background that I had because right now I'm have this background. I wanted my plaques and stuff to be my background, but that's neither here nor there. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. So the videos I had to play are on that other page. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to send it to you guys. I'm gonna try and send it to you, Dave. Maybe you could pull it up and put it in. And I want to welcome you both as well. In case y'all don't know, I have the Wife School podcast. I call her Stephanie. I didn't know that that's what, in fact, you wanted to be known as, but I see it there on your page. So, welcome, Miss Stephanie. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing good.
We also have Bear Paws and Mr. Sparta himself. Uh,
This is Sparta!
Oh my
that would be David and Peter who are joining us, and we have this great topic that we're going to be tackling today, and it's only person you can trust is yourself. Now,
Sean, before we move on, Greg would like to join the stream. Or you? This is your show, your call. You want me to drop the
well,
link?
well, yeah, definitely drop the link.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to whoever want to join this show because we're gonna talk about it.
My
We
man
gonna.
UK, the link is in the chat. Go ahead and
That
join
is
when
my
you feel
cousin.
like.
That is my cousin.
And it is great to see Stephanie, aka Wife Pool Parker. We are very good friends. I know she's a busy lady.
Absolutely,
Even when she
absolutely.
ignores my emails half the times.
All I see is post link. I be all over the place, man. I do.
Now
But
tell me,
I'm trying. I'm look at my cat. Oh my god. I'm trying to put in my effort. I would be on my usual site, but I have Latino neighbors and they're having a party, so I don't want them all on the
okay.
video,
Well, with that being said, I'm gonna ask you both. I'm gonna first off, I'm gonna try and send over this. this video link or a few video links. What's going on, Craig? Pleasure. Thank
Hi,
you for coming in,
Craig.
joining.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hmm.
Craig is from across the pond. Stephanie just said, "Hold on." He's from across the pond. We spoke about that last week.
Mhm.
And just so the y'all who don't know, so what I want to talk about today is you can trust no only person you can trust is yourself. Now, the reason why I brought that topic up and the way that I wanted to spin it was because how many of y'all are familiar with that saying first and foremost, and how many of y'all agree with that saying?
I agree with 100%.
Agreed, agreed. Familiar, agreed. Day, familiar, agreed. Craig and Stephanie, perhaps
Agreed.
agreed. Okay, now only person you can trust is yourself. Now, my spin on it is that um, those who can't trust can't be trusted.
Mm.
Now, uh, I learned this through some experiences about myself. For example, when I was younger, I was always faithful in relationships. And my girl at the time, when I was a teenager, did something that was unfaithful to me. Now, to the extent I won't go into, because I don't know if she actually had intercourse or sex with the person, but she did something that was deceptive, kissed another person. I found out. All right, just FYI. So when we broke up, or we had changes, I didn't really trust her. And what I found myself in the position is I went away, I went to New York, she was in California. I went back to New York and I had somebody that I was messing around with. She knew about my girl. She knew about what was going on. And I had an argument with my girl that weekend when she was there. And I said, fine, then it's over, it's over. So we broke up. So technically, in my mind, I wasn't cheating because I am single. So when she called me, hey, what you doing? I used my still wanting to be honest. I used a little bit of deception, and I was like, oh, nothing. I'm just chilling. Now, meanwhile, I'm next to a girl right here. She knew. I said, hold on, let me pick up my phone because she knew who was calling. So in reflecting and all of that, I won't go into the rest of the details, but in reflecting for all that, I realized that I became the person that I despise in her. I didn't trust her. And I, in my mind, well, she doing what she want to do, so I could do what I want to do, type of thing. We broke up anyway, even though it was technically a breakup to be able to go ahead and spread my wings. But the point is that I became untrustworthy. And I recognized that in hindsight. I recognized that as I grew a little bit older. And I realized that that saying, those who can't trust can't be trusted, had some validity. So since then, I now have adopted to trust everybody until they give me a reason not to. So, with that being said, in that story, tell me your perspectives. And I'm gonna start with you, Wife School Podcast, because you said you can, don't trust only person you can trust is yourself. Now, with that being said, express why you feel that way.
Well, you had posed this question to me, and I was really thinking about it, and I mean, when it comes down to the reality of things, to get things done, to get better, to see change in your life, you can't really depend on other people to do that work for you. So you do have to trust yourself. But like you said, when you look back and you reflect it, it's like, man, look at all the mistakes I made because I trusted myself to make this choice or this decision. I'm like, hmm, was that the best way to go? Because and then I'm like, well, relationships I chose, and it's like, wow, do I even trust myself to even choose the right partner or things like that? Or so I think in trusting yourself, you sometimes you have to go through a couple of things to see that, sometimes we do lie to ourselves. And when we confront ourselves and are willing to be truthful with ourselves, then we can become more trustworthy. I can trust my habits. I can trust that if I go to this place, I know I'm going to act a crazy fool, so I don't go there. So I can trust that I stay home and read a book. And usually that works out. So I trust, doing certain things. So I think after we do touch the stove and get that experience, then we can trust ourselves not to put ourselves in compromising situations. And then in that, then we can teach other people like, hey, trust me, dog, trust me, sis. Yeah, we start becoming better, and that's the beginning of wisdom. And so a lot of people trust people that have wisdom. So you do have to go through some things to build that trust, and then that trust turns into something that other people can trust.
Okay. And fellas, now that you heard that, my perspective, and you heard her perspective, what are your feelings or your sentiments on why you feel only person you can trust is yourself?
Well, I guess I go first because I got a big mouth. Um,
Definitely.
oh, fuck off over there. So I agree with you, Sean, 50-50. Yes, I will. I trust myself, but I also will trust you. Can not reason. But I've been stabbed in the back way too many times to give you my 100% trust issue. I'll give you from scale of 100 of 50% only at first. Then you have to earn the other 50%. Also believe trust is earned over time, slowly and maturely. I cannot give you my 100% trust. Like I cannot give you my keys to my house. You can come and see, hang out with my dog. Work. I sit on my very expensive system. That takes time. I can't trust anybody 100% like that.
Okay.
It depends on what kind of.
I'll get back. I'll get back to you because I got that. But Craig and the
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I've had a lot of problems. I have trusted a few people where I live currently, and they all screwed me over. One tried to actually wanted to rip my head off and try and kill me. So,
okay,
Wow.
okay,
um,
and Dave.
Hmm. Trust. Well, I know a few people who have known me from the Black Men I've built the network. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. I come across a life where backstab, betrayal, being lied on, put you in a predicament whereby you are forced to only trust yourself. It's not like I choose it, but when you are kind of individual like me who give people the benefit of the doubt way too many times, and you watch them burn it to the point whereby when you confront certain people about what they did to you and they feel like it's not much of a big deal, it puts you in a place where one, either you just brush it off and keep it moving, hope it doesn't change you. But when it does change you, the question is to what direction would it change you to? At my present age, I will say I'm almost completely cold hearted, which means if I were to trust anyone in my life right now, there have to be a level of consistency across the board. You know, one trial or one chance. No, I want to see a level of consistency. Because if I had to be consistent and hold myself to my word, to my oath, to my belief, and those around me can't, then why should I trust anybody to begin with? And they're coming from an upbringing when
Okay,
you have parents who supposed to be the people you trust the most, but both of them not only betray your trust, but backstab you, destroy your foundation, destroy your confidence, and you have to build it from scratch. So when you have that type of mindset, it's almost, I'm not trying to be tactical, but I'm forced to be tactical, methodical, logical in ways whereby you really have to prove me wrong for me to trust you. Literally. So
Well,
I could
the
be,
okay, go ahead, continue.
go ahead. No, I'm just saying, it's
No, I was
not,
going to say,
go ahead, sorry.
no,
No,
I
sorry,
want you
forgive me. I'm telling
to finish it.
no, to know I'm going to finish it. It's not something I wanted to be, but when you get burned too many times over a long period of time, it kind of like, it's like a conditioning. Me and Sparta, we have both mixed martial art background. When you're trained to a certain degree, it stick with you, right? So imagine the cycle of backstabbing, the cycle of betrayal, the cycle of lies, the cycle of lack of consistency over a long period of time. It and me being an African person, I try not to go crazy. So shout out to Reckless Way when he gave me the name Beer Paw. I sometimes feel like a black African grizzly bear in Brooklyn, New York. So there be times I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking for an excuse to just explode on somebody. I never got the chance to. I'm being bluntly honest. Allegedly, I'm just being
Allegedly.
bluntly honest because no weapon. I just want to take my hawkish madness and just
They have smash
Uh,
rooms for that.
I actually, Big Bear, because in case you ever happen to run across that scenario, I don't want any set upon you.
I know, I
Uh,
know, I know, I know. I had to be honest because sometimes
David,
people
you
think
know
I'm
you're on
a
camera and this is recording, and this could be used as evidence against your
I know you can use
sentence.
that evidence because here's the
oh,
problem.
man.
When you're out here in New York City and you're on the subway and people have tried you, which has happened to me many times. I have broken up fight in subways, I've done it on the buses, I had to break up one in particular fight with a fellow on a grandma, somebody punched me in the face, and I wanted to snap his neck. Luckily, I have so much restraint not to. He gave me a nice hard right, but it didn't shake my jaw. It just woke up a beast in me, and I was like, calm down. And I had to count in my head, don't let it out. Don't let it out. I know myself. I had to go to work. So there are moments why I want to go beast mode. And I'm
And
in
you're
New York
able to
City, I'm not
contain yourself.
allowed to.
And you're
So
able,
I
well,
try
you're
my best.
allowed to contain yourself. Okay, we get that. I'm glad you contain yourself, and I'm glad you have emotional and tolerance and ability to face it. But
To a
what I was going to
degree,
say,
to a degree. It's just that,
Yeah,
well,
you're gonna put you in
that's a
a
good
karate
thing.
class.
That's a good
no,
thing.
ain't no karate going on here. I'm just
Discipline is a good.
bare.
You getting into my comment because quite all just describe trauma, and
Hmm.
trauma is for loosely defined unresolved pain. And so the thing is that we go through our lives with this unresolved pain from a lot of different places and spaces, and we start acting or reacting in such a manner that is sometimes unfair to the people that we're doing it to. To the point that you made, but we feel justified in what we do because of our trauma, because of someone who might not have even done anything to you. And I'll give you another example where that happened. That it was clearly defined to me. I was I got into an altercation with some people, and it was and I wound up going and we left. But at that point, everybody who even resembled the person that I or the people that I got in the altercations with, I was looking at sideways. Meanwhile, it was none of the people. This is how I understand prejudice. This is how I understand a lot of things that happen to us and force us in certain kind of ways. And to each of your points, it's somewhat justified. But how do we get through it? How do we learn to trust? Because what we just described, we a lot of times we are our own worst enemies because we find ourselves not being able to deal with anyone who triggers those mistrust or distrust, and that could be something that could benefit us from some person or even the same person who broke the trust. So how do y'all go ahead and address that? First off, before we go into each and every person, we also just had someone else join us. So I want you to go ahead and answer the question. Have you been on? Have you heard the question?
Yes. So I actually just learned how to do this the past 2 years. I was diagnosed with cancer, and I had to realize how to trust in others because I knew I could not do this journey on my own.
Wow.
So I simply had to because I knew I have a child, I have a teenager, and I knew I needed help. There was no way I could manage this on my own. So I had to reach out not only to my family and friends, but others who I had to put more trust into.
Wow.
Um, and now, 2 years later, I would be lost without all of them. So I learned how to put my trust in them and just trust others that were looking to help me and get me through this. And as I continue on this journey, I really realize I don't know where I would be without them.
Wow. Well, first off, God bless you. Continue blessings for your
Yes.
strength and your health to
Thank you.
continue
Yes.
recuperation and remission and so on. Lord, we ask you for that on her behalf. Thank you. And
Thank you.
secondly, not a problem. You actually, I'm glad you came on last because you brought a whole different perspective that I was going to challenge each of us
Hmm.
with. Is because who do we hold is the second question. Who do we hold in authority over ourselves other than ourselves? Who do we lean on? Who can we trust or listen to other than ourselves?
I've
Family.
always, I've always had trust in my parents. Um, so those have always been my two backbones, like to anything that I've gone through. And then I just had to reach out to other family and friends and just put my trust in them and help me through this.
Wow. And that lends a balance. So, fellas, with that being said, she just added more fuel to our fire. What do you got to say now? We're gonna start with Wife School Podcast, and we're gonna go to the right and then back down the way we did last time. So go ahead, Wife School. Stephanie.
Um, I really trust in my mom, and I'm really thankful that I have her because, and I can understand what David said. Like your parents are the one that just you should be the most vulnerable with, the people that birthed you and gave you life. But sometimes those people, you don't have a close relationship with them. You can only like tell them maybe 30%. They'll be like, all right, and they're not paying attention. But I'm just thankful that I could talk to my mom, and she's just seen me cry. She's seen me ugly cry. I just flailed out with her and just say, I'm just done. I'm done with this. I'm done with that. And just let her know everything. And she just sits there. She lets me vent, even though she may not be able to change the
Hmm.
situation, but just her support and just listening and her small encouragement and letting me do that, blow off that steam, just builds our trust more. And I'm just thankful that I do have her in my life, and I have a daughter. And like Miss Alicia said, I'm trying to build that relationship with her so that she can tell me in every all her problems or situations and have questions. And just, I mean, I don't have to be all end all be all, but I just would like to be that
Okay.
for her.
What's interesting
So
about that,
I'm
I'm gonna
thankful for
ask you this. Remember, I said those who can't trust can't be trusted. Uh,
that. Hmm.
suppose that reigns true, and the reason why I bring it up is because if you are that for her, but yet you are carrying the baggage of not trusting others, you might give advice that will project. your mistrust into your loved ones? How do we how do we deflect that, or how do we address that? And I'm gonna send it to Pete. I want you to think about it, Stephanie, but I'm gonna send it over to you, Pete, because there we have it. Now that you who do you trust, and can they trust you?
So I'm gonna break this down in multiple ways. First, if my people who are in my circle, I don't even call them my circle. I call them my family. David, Paul, Coach, CQ, you, Sean, my little pain ass friend Alicia, Greg, who became a new member of my family. You guys, I trust more than anything. Let me ask you a question, Sean. I know you don't live close. If I call you at 3 o'clock in the morning, I say, Sean, I need you out of my house right now. I have an emergency. Would you show up?
Yes.
David, would you show up at 3 a.m. if you were like Greg? You too? Would you show up? At least I know you. Stefan, let me ask you a question.
Absolutely.
I know we're pretty close.
Absolutely.
You know, right? Can we agree on that?
Hmm.
Yeah. So, about you, Stefan, we're pretty close, right? We're not tight, but we're close, right? Can we agree on that? If you were around the corner, would you show up and help me out if I needed something?
Oh yeah.
But
That's
what's
different.
interesting about that, Peter, you're tapping into not trust. You're tapping into people who have compassion for humanity. And I think each of us have that, to where even
Mhm.
if it wasn't you, if there was a neighbor who we don't know screaming across needing help at 3 in the morning, 9 times out of 10, we probably will try and show aid. So somebody who we do know, it's almost automatic. So that's an unfair predicament, because you just telling me you're humane, and this is why we trust and have that compassion for one another. But what
Uh,
about those times? Go ahead.
I'm gonna push back a little bit. Why can't it be combination of both together?
I agree. It should be. I'm just trying to identify the fact that, let's say when you don't feel, let's say it's that enemy who mistreated you. What are you going to do then? Not you
What?
specifically, but everybody here. I'm asking you that question. What if it's your enemy? And biblically they say you should trust your enemy, but not. We don't always apply that. Not that everybody is biblical or
Mhm.
follow the Bible, but the point being is that principle in itself is part of what was being said, and it's in a lot of different religious and uh, social platforms and social principles. But is it something that we are able to practice with all of this abuse and or hurt that we're feeling that we haven't let go?
I see what you're saying, but also your enemy could show compassion and trustworthy over time. They can become a friend over time.
Let's say they're not. What does that change you? That's my point. Because what I found out, those who can't trust can't be trusted. When I didn't trust, it changed me. I became who I didn't like. I
Mhm.
became the person that I despised in that person who hurt me. I became exactly that person. We see it a lot in politics. We see everybody pointing a finger, but they become exactly what they're complaining about.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah. So it's easier to do when somebody hasn't done anything to you. Somebody
Hmm.
you don't know, somebody you do know, to have compassion for. The test comes when it's somebody who you know did you dirty, who you know are dirty, deserve something you might want to inflict, but yet you're now faced with, do I help this person or do I let them suffer? Now, let me add more context. Do I let them critically suffer? Because suffering is not something that we can, yeah, suffering sometimes is helpful for people, in my
You
opinion.
grow.
Yeah, it helps you grow. But do I take a person, when I say critically suffer, something that can critically, like they can't come back from type of suffering? Do you make them do that? Feel free to chime in, anyone. You don't have to go on the.
I don't know. Maybe
I'll,
it
I'll,
depends on the offense, because you can forgive, but you may not be able to forget it. So it's just probably better just to let that
Sorry,
let
I
that
didn't
thing
hear
be
the
severed.
question.
let me
You know what I'm
let me put myself into this. This is something that is real life and that took place. Remember, we had a phone call today earlier. I think my birthday passed September 19th. I already turned
Happy
47.
belated again.
Um, my sister, not the youngest, but the older of the two, who I refuse to communicate with. We have our issue growing up. I didn't like the hypocritical behavior trend that she had. And I'm the kind of person, like you mentioned, aka I'm a Virgo, I could be very technical, analytic about everything. I cut up my brother after I buried my mom back in 2023. My brother is a so-called man of God, caught on many lies. When I confront him about these things, he continued to double down on the lie, would let me know I could never trust him, even my life depended on it. So I cut him off for good. I did the same thing this year with my sister. And she have a trend of acting like she don't remember, she don't recall, and there's something I have an issue with being so-called church folks. Definitely know this conversation. I had it with her before in the past when I talk about dealing with people in the church whereby they act like so-called Christian or than that, but you can tell they don't practice what they read or what they study. So I had a particular system I was trying to do that same now with me, and I was trying not to, I would say, go bare paw on her. I had to be front with her. Like, I really don't care if you exist anymore, to be totally honest. I let it be known because for more than 20 plus years, almost 30, to her existence, I found that I can never trust her for anything. This is my blood, mind you. The lied, hypocritical, sarcastic behavior, the look down. I recall, I'm not going to mention your name, the particular marriage that I predicted to my soon to be ex-spouse that it was going to take place, and it did came to pass long before it happened. When the guy was coming to this country, I'm the oldest big brother. She bypassed me as if I never existed so he could talk to my younger brother. So when the thing went down concerning her man, I could care less about it because I saw it coming miles away, years in advance, but I didn't get no respect from it. But knowing that she could have been trustworthy, she's going to be honest, I told her this year, it'll be best that you never existed so you don't have to waste your time calling me. I had to cut her off next. The only person I give grace to is my baby sister. The other two siblings, I do not want to see them in person nor in the flesh. For the simple fact they claim to be Christian, they cannot be honest, they cannot be transparent, but they want me to lead by example what I have been doing throughout my whole entire life. Or I find out even my own family I cannot rely nor trust. I had to exile them literally because if I don't, I know the kind of person I am. But I say I got betrayed. I was betrayed by both my parents. I was betrayed by my sibling, my mom and my father used my sibling against me. The only person who is anything about it is my baby sister. She get the grace, the rest of them don't. So that being said, I had to cut communication connect. If I don't, I know the kind of person I am, meaning relatives have known me very well. If you are done with one, I give you benefit without the chain and you need to burn bridge and prove that you're not true. It best won't come near me. I've been known to be what they call the quiet person, but also a raging beast when needed. This is why to trust people, it's I understand the question, but sometimes it's hard when certain people that you may know or related to have a trend or a tendency of abusing that trust. I was not one person who gave people too many chances, and I realized I should never done it in the first place. That's why when we asked about that particular question, it was digging in. I was like, not everybody is the same. There are some people you just have to avoid just for the sake of peace in your mind, because when they're around you, they're like toxic. They don't try to change. And when relatives are telling you about what they did and they act like they did nothing wrong, and I'm looking at them like, they cannot be my blood. They just can't.
Well, what's interesting about what you just said, and I think we all been through it. Uh, Not only is it difficult to deal and give grace to somebody who has stabbed you in the back, but it becomes even more difficult when that person is somebody that you've been taught you could and should be able to rely on, such as your parents. So your parents is a deeper, because you've been trained, never mind by them, but by society. Always and religion, always respect your father, always respect your mother, and so on and so forth. And if they're the ones who have done something that is offensive to you, it becomes a more difficult thing to trust generally. So I get your point of view when you say it's difficult for you to trust. And not that I'm saying you should change that or not. All I'm sharing is a different perspective on how it can reflect and how it can, more importantly, uh, be a disadvantage to you and your growth and you further. So that's what my whole intent in having these conversations, these straight talks, leading to straight understanding.
I
Yeah,
get the point because I know Stephanie, Peter know this about me. I try to move past that. This is why sometimes I'm that person whereby if I live nearby, you reach out to me, ask me for help. I will not hesitate to help out. Dr. McCumbee was one person who had that conversation, and he realized I do what I do because I've been burned before, trying to give people the benefit of doubt. People I don't know closely. Because those who I know within my close circle, and I give them benefit of doubt, it's almost like they willfully do it anyway. They think I'm just going to continue to be what they call the term doormat. I'm sure everybody heard that phrase. But yeah, people abuse that particular person because they think, oh, he's just a doormat. He doesn't care. He'll allow me to do it over and over. And I was a doormat to my family for so long.
yeah, and like I said, I understand your point of view heavily, because it's the you're not treading water. You're swimming deep in the ocean in reference to the hurt and stuff that has gone along. I want to ask you, Alicia, uh, and then you, Craig. But I want to ask you, Alicia, because you just expressed having to go through a transition and a transformation, um, that where your life was in jeopardy, so you had no choice but to trust someone else.
Hmm.
So
Right.
that being said, how how now moving forward do you look at trust, or the lack of trust that you might not have had in the past because of trauma that might have happened?
Well, one thing that I did experience too, that um I had to look at who to trust, because of course when this first happened to me, I had everybody and anybody reach out to me, like people that I haven't heard from in years. Suddenly everybody wanted to be my friend, everybody wanted to be in my life. And then as the year went on and things got better, like, I mean, like, still going through cancer and treatments and everything, but I was feeling better. People knew I was doing better. People started going away from me. And then I started seeing that who was really still in my life, that would still reach out to me, even if I was having a good day. That those people that when I wasn't having a good day, they were the ones reaching out. But now, who was there to say, are you doing well? How's things going? It really, really diminished. So then, as things went forward, because there's always bumps in the road on with cancer journeys. I had some bumps in the road, and then more and more people came out again that I haven't heard from in like a year. So then that caused me to actually have some trust issues. oh geez, these people are only reaching out to me when they know I'm not doing well. So I
So
really had to look at.
I got a question. When you say that, was it that you had trust issues, or what was it that you were questioning uh, the genuine state of
Yeah,
people?
right. Maybe it's more that I was just questioning the genuinity of how they were to me, because a lot of them weren't real true friends that I would have considered true friends before this. A lot
Wait,
of them.
you just tapped on something. What is a true friend? Because they are only
Hmm.
reaching out to you
Right.
because they're trying to send some love or some encouragement.
Yes.
A friend maybe isn't what they were supposed, or a true friend maybe that wasn't what they was trying to be to you. But did
Right.
it change your outlook on what a true friend is?
No, I think I always knew what a true friend was. It was just having them like bombard me more in life, like these friends that just suddenly appeared in my life that weren't there to begin with, and suddenly they want to be my friend, is what I experienced. But
Hmm.
then they would like go away then and then come back. But I knew who my true friends were because they wouldn't go away. They would stick around through the good and the bad, the bumps and the not bumps, whether I was feeling good or whether I was feeling not good. They would be there. So I never had to I never had to question who my true friends were. I just had to question these people that kept coming in and out of my life. That still do. I still have these people coming in and out of my life. And I really, really just think, you know what? They're not true friends. I understand that they're coming to me with compassion and some genuinity and knowing how I'm doing. But really, are they true friends? No.
Okay, okay, I understand. Now, Craig, you can go ahead and chime in on whatever you want to tackle from what we've been discussing.
Well, true friends are who actually stick around, exactly what the young lady said. Um, the only person I could trust in my life who's actually been there for the past 13, 14 years is currently my other half. I'm not going to say much into the details. Sparta knows the details. But yeah, most of my friends have abandoned me and most of my family.
Okay,
When I really needed my own mother, she wasn't there. Um, my own father, he helps out every now and then, but he's never there. My own best friend, who I grew up with, um, I hardly ever see him. I haven't seen him in months. Um, but there's not a lot of people you can trust out there. People who are actually close to you, who are there for you and do anything for you. Um, like your wife, your husband, if like your brother, if he's there for you, if you're ill, people like your husbands, your wives, your families who are actually really there for you, who actually care for you, who physically contact you every single day. Even if you're not ill, they contact you every day to see how you do it. Um, that's all I've got to say. I'm sorry.
no, that's
I've,
that's cool. There's nothing to be sorry about. I appreciate that, and I want to get back over to you, Miss Stephanie. But I want to spin it now. I'm gonna spin it a little. Y'all ready for the spin? All right. The spin is uh, we all identified first. Our first identity was only person you can trust is yourself. That was the topic of tonight's conversation, and now we're into the point of why we feel that way and why people feel that way, and it was rooted from I think what we all have mentioned in trauma and in pain and in hurt. Uh, so I was traumatized when I just saw Stephanie leave here and then she came back. It hurt me. No, but seriously, with that being said, here's the spin.
My
Oh,
connection. Sorry.
nah, it's not a problem. I'm just messing with you. Uh, Now, with that being said, and Stephanie, I want you to start. Uh, we wind up, um, yeah, we wind up not being able to trust. And like I said, those who can't trust can't be trusted. But what we just identified in a lot of different, in a couple of the points of view that was mentioned, is that we learn consistency helps us feel trusted. We learn that consistency, especially through ups and downs, which a spouse is the only person who is supposed to. Now the spin is,
Mhm.
are we relying on people to do something that no, is our expectation leading to our disappointment? Our expectation of, whether it be our parents, our close friends, our true friends, as it was stated here, our parents, is our expectation of what we expect them to do leading to the disappointment that we're receiving from them?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, because we assume that family is so should, we should be a community, but when those expectations aren't met, yes, and then we get to see, you know, who people are, moments, and some people meet the expectations, some people exceed the expectation, and some people they didn't get the email.
Yeah, so I
This
want y'all all to chime in. I
discernment.
heard a no. Oh, I'm sorry, you was breaking up.
I am okay. I have to start all over again. I'm sorry because it's so bad.
Are
Sweetheart,
you
can I
on
ask you a
Wi-Fi,
question?
wife?
Okay, so she's gonna come back with us, but I heard somebody say no. Expectation didn't lead to that disappointment. That was you, Craig. Go ahead, explain that.
Well, I can say my best mate's mother, who I actually class as my own mother. When I really needed someone, she was her and her son were very good friends, right? Ever since I was a kid, and whenever something happened in my own house, which was two doors up from where they lived, um, she was always there. Even when I didn't expect it, she was always there for me. My mum came home drunk. Peter knows this. Um, she came home with food and just dumped it on the floor. It'd be either defrosted from being left on the floor for days on end or gone off. So if I ever needed food, all I'd have to do is go down. She'd answer the door and she'd just let me go in the kitchen and have something to eat, or she'd literally bring a meal to me every day if I didn't turn up. If you know what I mean.
So, so what you're saying though is actually lending to the point. You expected your mother to do the things that your friend's mother was doing, and you was very disappointed that she couldn't even get close to it.
I lost a lot of trust and respect for my own mother. Um, my mum was supposed to have protected me over the years. Yeah, her partners actually beat the living crap out of me every single day of the week for years.
Wow. And
Yeah, Peter,
yeah,
Peter knows this. I explained this to him the other day. Yeah, um, I just lost any respect for my own mother. My mum's actually stood there and watched me have her partner smash the living crap out of my face. She has. Um, but I just got no respect for my own mother. We lived in a house with it's a three-bedroom house with one heating area, which was the front room, had a gas fire in it. There was no central heating in the house at all. Um, but me and my younger brother actually sat upstairs in the freezing cold in the cold winter night, whilst my mum sat downstairs, pissing it up in front of the fire, watching TV. If you understand where I'm coming from,
yeah,
so
and,
I've
and
got
yeah,
I've got no respect for my family.
and,
Um,
And I understand that. Go ahead.
That's why I highly dependent. I was a teenager. I was a young lad. I was probably around about 11 or 12 when I first got introduced to my best friend and his mum. When I first moved to the area where I lived. Um, so yeah, I was highly dependent on my best mate's mother. She was there when my daughter was taken from us. My own mother just didn't care. So personally, I actually begged my best mate's mother to adopt me, which she didn't.
Wow. Well, and I'm glad you said that because I want you to join us on the show. I did, by the way, Pete. I did speak with Precious,
Mhm.
and in the future we're going to have a show where we're going to be talking about adoptees, adoption, and foster care, because she's an advocate and a person who was part of that. So you just triggered that thought and reminded me of that. You're
So
back. Look who's back in the building. But yeah,
run away, Stephanie's back.
but what's interesting about what you said, Craig, and this is why I asked the question, is because you kind of lent to the point that I was of what I said. Uh, Expectation led to disappointment
Mm-hmm.
because you expected your mom to love you and care for you. And this is something that I had a conversation with my daughter recently, and she was like, "You're supposed to do this," and I said, "No, I choose to." And that's called entitlement, which you're seemingly projecting to me, that you feel entitled, that I'm supposed to. And she said, no, if you choose to have a child, you're supposed to take care of it. And I said, no, you choose to take care of it, because you can also choose to give it up for adoption.
Yeah.
You can also choose. Go ahead. I see you, Stephanie. You sound like you want to say.
Excuse me, I've got to close the window because the dogs are barking.
I'm hoping it's not gonna go on a biblical route because I know that will sound like, because I get your point that you have a signal issue, but for what Craig said, I can relate to him because I had something close to similar in that standpoint, but that is something that I share with my kids because my cousin mom was more of a mom to me than my own mom, which was shocking.
Wow.
That's why.
Alicia, I see you over there.
My mom, older sister, husband was a father to me more than my own father.
Okay.
So when I hear those type of things, it bring back memory of people who left a massive impact in my life, who I had to build myself according to the principle they live by.
Absolutely. And what's interesting about that is that is usually the case when we feel something that we can identify with. We automatically it brings up memories, and it brings up things that we automatically relate to, and agree with and understand. And I saw you, Alicia. I was calling on you because I saw you wanting to get in. So go ahead and speak on what you were going to say.
Oh no, I was just thinking like I definitely believe in that. Our expectations definitely have to do with what we what we perceive as what we expect from people. Definitely.
What I've learned to
It's
do to be able to have grace. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
what was that?
I said, go ahead. I'll say it after you.
Oh no, I was just saying it definitely has to do with like what we expect from others. Um because again, if our expectations are let down, then of course we're going to go back to not trusting somebody, and it has to all tie together, I feel.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And what I was saying, I see you, Steph. Just come on back up and try and fix it while you're up here. It's fine. We understand. Just
Sean,
keep.
also sometimes the expectations are too high for people.
Well, not sometimes. Usually, and this
Okay,
is
well,
why I'm
I'll give
bringing.
you that. Yes.
Yeah, this is why I'm bringing the point up. What I was going to say is the way I was able to learn grace, or as I'm practicing grace, because I haven't learned it yet entirely, but as I'm practicing it, I remind myself of that. I remind myself and I don't have expectations for people. I try not to have. Now, it doesn't. Let's not get it confused with having standards, because I do have standards. But my expectation, I expect you to do whatever it is you want to do. I expect you, and I respect when you are able to do it without any deception taking place. So I'd rather you do something I don't like and stand on it, as they would say, not hide it, disguise it, and stand on it, and I can still respect and enjoy your friendship or the relationship, whatever relationship we have. But if in fact you're uh, denying it and you're not being accountable for whatever it is that you do, then I have an issue with it. So my expectation is what you tell me. My expectation is what you show me, because sometimes you don't tell me things, you just do it, and I just pay attention to the patterns or pay attention to your actions, and I expect, okay, that's just what, if a person lies all the time, I expect them to lie. I don't get mad when they lie, because I would feel foolish that I keep getting mad at a person who's just doing what they naturally do. And I don't hold it against them that they're lying. I'm just like, yo, I'm not like that. I can't be that. I don't want that. That's on you. But I'm now aware of it. And guess what they say when I bring it to their attention? They lie about it and say, no, I'm not doing it. And I take no
Mm-hmm.
offense because I'm expecting it.
I get that logic, and I fully comprehend that. But I want to address when you say, as a parent, you're not obligated to, or but you choose to. I think the angle between parents and children is based on what concept or what belief do they have a parent supposed to do. Now, that is why this where that particular area could be very, very tricky. In today in American society, you have a lot of kids who have a fair concept what a parent's supposed to be to them. And they could come off highly entitled, if you understand that.
Absolutely.
But if you go across the water, whereby we have people who are grown up in a unique culture that is embedded in their society to the point whereby they are taught, either they're part of a church community or Islamic community, they are taught the principles on how they're supposed to conduct themselves. They are taught the way of how they're supposed to walk in that particular lifestyle they're living. Now, what they will expect their parents supposed to be will be based on that principle or that belief they're being taught. For example, the Bible. If they were taught scripture, they will go based on the biblical principle, what they expect their parents to do. Now, if they base it on that, I will not call that entitlement. I will call that a obligation, that is a responsibility. But if they're based on something that is not sound, it's based on selfishness or greed, or they think this was supposed, then I will agree that come up from an entitled mindset. If you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah. Well,
Because when you made that statement earlier, I was in my head like, you have a point to a particular degree, because that is a very tricky area to entangle or to get the concept when it comes to parent and child based on what society you're living in.
well, you're right, but here's why I challenge every society, whether it be across the pond or not, because we then forget that they are humans, and and when we forget that, because we have been taught to forget that, because they have even trained us to forget that. They trained us that they're our Superman. They trained us that they're perfect. They trained us that they're always going to be there for us. They trained us all of these things, and then society reinforced it. So now we really thinking that
Okay.
they're untouchable. Most of us thought at one point in our lives that our parent was like a god. like they couldn't be touched. You could, you, and then we would, and that lends to our submergence when that disappointment comes in and we find out that they're not. And it leads us,
I
go
held that
ahead.
up. I held that one up. What you
Man.
just said.
And so,
I thought my parents were indestructible.
and you found out that
I
the
thought wrong.
truth. And boy,
I found out my family were, without to be too harsh or whatever you want to call it. I can't really say much on this subject on this platform, but I think my family are all idiots.
right.
To be honest.
I get it. I'm reading between your lines. But yeah, I want to hear from
Thank you, Sir.
Alicia. I want to hear again from you, and Peter. I want to hear from you as well because you've been quiet. So let's start with Peter first, Alicia.
I'm going to go and have a quick
All
smoke
right,
and
go
a
ahead.
coffee. I'll be right
Thank
back.
you, Peter. So Pete, so tell us after hearing some of these discussion points and some of the things that we've been saying. What are your thoughts?
The world's fucked up. Let's put it straight up. Again. I'm gonna not go. I don't sugarcoat anything.
Amen to
Everybody
that.
knows me on a personal level on this platform. Trusting expectations, they can be lost in translation. No offense to lost in translation, obviously. It's so hard to read those fine lines sometimes.
Man,
People I thought will have my back twice, never did. Left me on the side of the road, literally. That's kind of fucked up.
yeah.
But when they needed somebody, I'm always the first person to call.
Well,
I'll bet you right
again,
now. After that, after the second time, I'm not giving you a third chance. Fuck you. I said to that.
okay. And what's interesting about that is you're lending to the point that I was making, and I'm challenging everybody. My past is the way I first heard it, but expectation leads to disappointment. Uh,
Mhm.
is really the key principle in all of that.
And Sean, I'll be
Because
straight up with you. I'm
uh-huh,
like, I've been disappointed, not as much from my parents, because my parents' relationships were screwed up from the beginning, but from ex girlfriends,
right,
friends, family number one.
right,
Give you a great example. When my mom first got diagnosed with cancer, my whole family disowned me for that. Every single goddamn person of that. The only time they reached out to me is when it came down to the property we have overseas. And I can't really say too much about the property because it's not under my name, it's my mother's property. So why don't you call a person? Oh, we don't want to deal with your mother. Because my mom calls your shit out. Very simple. That's the problem. That's why you don't want to do that. It is what it is, Sean. People have let me down and disappointed me multiple times over the years.
I understand that, and my main thing is I try and give a perspective to help us. Like I said to you last week,
Hmm.
I'm not a therapist, but some things I say and things that you say can be therapeutic. And that's part of why I like to having these conversations, these straight talks, so that we could get a different perspective and maybe have a better understanding. And so, what you're all saying, and I agree with, is that we all been through some traumatic bullshit. And with that being said, it has affected us in different ways. And when it comes to the topic, which is only person you can trust is yourself, the reason why I want to tackle that and why I want it to be something we spoke about is for all of the reasons that are coming out as we speak about it. All of the trauma, all of the manipulation, deception, hurt, pain, um, that we all have been through and go through, not even just been through, that continue to go through. Because, as you said, people uh, uh, people are fucked up, as you put it. You said the world. I just put people in it. Go ahead, Miss.
Before I get cut off again, I kind of didn't agree with what you said about how you addressed your daughter, saying you choose to help her, because I understand that we steward over our children because we chose to have. You understand? We
Uh-huh.
chose. We made a choice that brought about a life that we have to steward till they are okay, or they go before us, or they go before us. But that was a choice we made from them. So from that moment, if you decided to, you said, well, I kept her, so okay, cool. You made that initial choice to be there for her. Now, the capacity that you promised to be there, that can change. You know what I'm saying? You said, well, I got you up until here, then, and then just lower your expectations because now you're being an adult. You know what I'm saying? So I think
Hmm.
it's good for us to start coaching certain people we how no longer we're gonna extend certain things, how we're starting to have boundaries with ourselves because maybe I can't trust you, or maybe I'm trying to let you build your own trust in yourself. You know what I'm saying? You trust me so much that you don't even trust yourself. So like sometimes you do gotta, throw the little kitties out the nest and things like that, but you still are there. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So that they can come home
hmm.
because you are their parent. But if I can understand, like David said and Mr. Craig said, that if that avenue is rocky and bumpy, m- maybe there's just that limitation there. But, you still have love deep down inside. But, like, okay, cool. I've been blessed to have my wife. I've been blessed to make another thing that substitute that love that I needed, that love that was missing. Okay, this person is giving me that. This is awesome. You know what I'm saying? So okay, I'm gonna cling to this, and stuff like that. But it's like letting our guards down to do that, is like you said, may be tough because of the trauma, and we may have that side eye. But like you said, we may be punishing or like dismissing something that's good for us, or that lets us know that okay, this is safe. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I believe, keep flying around till you can land where something is safe, and don't give up hope because there's 8 billion people in the world, and there's somebody here that, or a couple or five people here that you can trust.
Well, I, going around the world is not something that I'm advocating. I get what you're saying, but
Yeah,
it would be disingenuous when you said what you disagree with me. It would be disingenuous for me to say that we're supposed to, because that's not true, and it's shown all the time. And the reason why I said it, it's a choice, because even if we decide to have a child, that decision came. Uh, who knows how that decision came about? And again, you can also decide to give a child up. You can also decide uh, uh, not to live up to those responsibilities. You can also decide you want to go in a different direction. So to sit and say that you're supposed to, that's something that is a choice, and it should be very clear to your children that it was a choice of yours and not an obligation of yours.
that's
So they
weird.
might,
So why do you feed them and nurture them all their life, and then you say I ain't doing it no more? That's weird.
well,
That's
because
like somebody like you being in a relationship with your girl, and then you thought she was supposed to do you, and then you went go crazy. Like that's static.
well,
That's weird.
let me ask you answer your question. It's very simple. Sometimes it's necessary for them to understand again that they're taking it for granted. We sometimes we breathe our air all our lives, and we never realize that that's something that we take for granted. We don't, oh, until you are gasping for breath, or you lose your breath, or you're not able to breathe. You don't even realize how much you take for granted. So, with the obligation as far as the children are concerned, you have chosen to give them what they needed. You have chose to be consistent with them. You have chose to be loving to them. The one thing that love, and in return, you ask for nothing.
I feel like I'm gonna say something there.
Actually,
I feel like it's
that's
my
weird.
responsibility to be there as a mother.
Yeah.
It's my
I
responsibility. I'm
Right.
there to take care of my child, and I'm there to be there no matter what goes on in my life. Like
and,
But
everything that
it's
I've been
also
through.
I think
the
that's the difference
pushback I
between
have
men and
that.
women.
and that's what I was about to say. That's a real woman, and no, and this is part of why we
Now
have a
you're talking
disconnect
about
sometimes. This is why we have a disconnect at times between men and women, because women take on responsibilities and feel obligated to responsibilities that often aren't theirs.
I
And
don't
I
feel
would think,
obligated though. It's my
and,
son. I
well,
feel
that's
like it's not an obligation. It's it's something that I don't even feel obligated to. It's just something I feel he's my son. I'm not. Of course I'll
yeah,
be there. Of course
yeah.
I'll do
well,
this.
well,
I'll do that.
well. The reason why I said that is because I was going to continue and say you should feel the same way about your husband, which you often don't. Why is that?
Wow,
You
that
gave
is
the
so
same. You
rude.
gave the same. You gave the
Sean,
same.
before we move on, I want to throw my little 2 cents here.
Mhm.
Sometimes, and again, please don't anybody take this personal. As mothers, as women, you guys cuddle these kids way too much sometimes. I think it should be a balance of 50%, because if they don't learn, oh, X, Y, and Z, whatever the X, Y, and Z is, they are expected this as they get adulthood.
What are those things, Peter?
Like, for example, if you always got everything for your child, when he turns 16, 17, 18, he still respect that. He doesn't know the value of a dollar. I started working when I was 12 years old, not because my dad told me to. Kind of did, actually. He said to me, like, you and your mother always want money from me. He said, oh, and okay, I give him a big finger, not literally, but when I got a job. So these kids don't know, like, you tell them don't do something, most of the times they're going to do the opposite. And the worst case scenario, they get a small punishment. They could take their phones away, whatever. But serious punishments don't usually happen sometimes. That's where the father comes in, like, okay. And I'm like, now I gotta put my fucking thing down because you keep doing the same bullshit, kid. Go ahead, David.
I will have to do a little
You
pushback
don't
on
live in a
this
black home.
because
I'm
no, I live in
Greek.
a
I'm
black
talking to
family.
Peter. Go ahead.
The thing is, I'm coming from an African background. This is why there's a cultural conflict within my tribe. The old school parents never talk about it's their choice. They know that it's responsible because there's a saying in Yoruba land: when you abandon your seed, there's a everlasting curse that is placed upon yourself, and it can be passed down to multiple generations unless the next generation put a stop to it. Meaning, if I thought of the trend to be a careless father, not take care of my own kids, or not be responsible for my own children, I can place a curse upon them, meaning that there'll be a cycle that will go on multiple cycles until somebody say no, we're gonna put a stop to that. Anyone who understands African culture, whatever you do, the Bible says what you sow is what you reap, right? And you hear a lot of time in the scripture about the sin of the father are being passed down. Which also applies the sin of the mother to also get passed down. This is why coming from an African background where we are very thick in the spiritual, but also thick in our Christian belief, I never look at it as a choice. I look at it as my responsibility unless I plan to live a life of destruction and curse because I chose to do what I feel like doing, not think about the repercussion behind it. That's why it's hard for me to agree. I'm a father and a granddad at the age of
A
47.
great great grandfather too.
Technically, I'm not Moser, aka R Payne. Don't put me in that predicament.
Mm,
Shout out to R Payne.
mm,
No shade, RP.
But
mm.
they be trying to play me like I'm old
You
and shit.
are
I'm
old fucker.
47. They just
Be
cool it
sounding
out.
like it.
When you coming from an African background and you're the first child, that the thing about the first child go to hardship. Like they believe in breaking down their first child, think that'll make them better. Not always the case. So
You said
being a
breaking down the
responsible
first
in
child?
yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's two people that are coming together. They never had a child before and they're doing their best. There's no manual to breaking down a kid.
No, this
What are you
what
talking
I
about?
was told. This what I was told. And I found out some people based on certain tribes they believe that is the case. This is why when you be around people who are not part of the American culture but from a particular bloodline or tribe going way back multiple years, you figure out certain tribe character and concept in mind. I never liked it, even I talked to my aunt and they tell me it's the same thing. That it was a bad habit. Some people follow it, some people, like I say, stop the cycle.
Right.
Because you call it, you can call it breaking out, you can call it ball buster, meaning you're not gonna make it easy for the first child.
Well,
The second child able to get away with things. The third child able to get away with things, but the first one is not allowed to.
well,
That
to
kind of thing.
Stephanie's point and your point, uh, it's just being described in different ways. You're right, that happens, but it to Stephanie's point, it happens due to often the newness of being parenthood, and the oldest having to deal with the newness, and basically, usually, a parent at that age is a child having another child, and so they're growing themselves, or children having another child, and they're growing themselves, and the oldest happens to get the brunt of it because they didn't learn any better yet, and then when they have the next one and the next one, they learn better. So so y'all both are saying the same thing, just in different ways, if you ask me.
Yeah, that could be the case, but only difference is that I will say this. After spending 7 years in there, I realized something was missing. And when they were explaining to me, I see why it happened. Normally, among African people, you don't want to leave your, what do you want to call it, a lifeline. When you become one, you become to start a family, you want to make sure you have your mom, your dad, your granddad be nearby. Sometimes when you have your first child, sometimes the first child hang out with the grandma while you trying to get yourself together in African culture. But when you decide to go far away from those who can be your support system, it's more than likely the first child go to the. And I've seen people who up in back in my country whereby they were the first child, but they had grandmama there, they had grandpapa there from both sides, from both mom's side and the pop side. So that kind of like served as a cushion to prevent such harshness to take place. Now, me, it's easy to say I never had a child. I don't know what a childhood feel like. When you have that taken from you, then you teach you that sense of responsibility from a very young age. It stuck with you to the point whereby I can brag, never took a vacation over 28, 29 years. I don't know what a vacation is. I don't really care anymore. You will have that type of systematic mindset embedded in you, whereby I find it, if I want to put the rigid counter of being a man to my son, and he stuck to society mindset, you gotta push back. Like, why am I not being taught? But I'm trying to prepare him for the world. But to him, I might be taking spoiling his fun. But it's not spoiling. I'm trying to get him prepared because you all know this. Are we raising future adult or are we raising future babies? Meaning when they turn 18, can they stand on their 2 feet or need to put them in a wheelchair or a cradle? That's what I'm dealing with. And I'm always trying to give that harsh reality. Like, if you're not prepared right now, when that time comes, that I'm gonna look at you like, so you think I'm gonna wait 8 years telling you this, and now you want me to come out? Nah, check it out.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that, because I agree, and that's similar to what we were speaking about a second ago when we was talking about the differences in our perspectives on mothering and fathering. A lot of times, you guys, women, I'm addressing you, Steph. Now, You're the only lady here.
Just
Um,
say women. You don't have to say you women. No.
no, I'm saying you. No,
Yeah.
I'm saying you now because it was two of you. It was two women here a second ago, but women
Well, it could have
Alicia,
been
specifically.
come
worse.
back
He
so
could
we
have
can
said you
face these
woman.
guys.
Okay.
He
Uh,
could have said
uh,
you woman instead.
Sean, be careful because if I had to go back and have conversation with Stephanie again, we to have
Yeah.
long
Don't be saying
conversation.
you women now.
It we
uh,
debate going back and forth.
uh,
The
no,
women
no.
be holding the whole house
I'm
together.
back.
All right, good, 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 good. So, what I was saying is that a lot of times, and I'm thinking, and I'm asking you guys this
Mhm.
actually, that perspective that you just mentioned and feeling, and it is an obligation to you. And the obligation, does that come from because you're holding the child and you're feeling the child inside of you? So, a lot of different connections and emotions comes through that process, is why you feel that way. But the reason why I dispute that is because there's so many women that do not do that. You chose to do that. Women don't choose to do that. Mothers don't choose to do that generally. It's not a mother, it's a person. A person. What I mean by that, Stephanie, screw up that face. What I mean by that is it's not.
Better
It's
clarify.
not. It's not a mother who does that. It's a good mother or a nurturing mother, which is what you're describing. And not all mothers are good or nurturing.
Yeah, because like we said,
That's true.
a lot of things happen in people's lives. Maybe, like you said, somebody is not shown that love, so now they're more callous and taken out of all that good stuff that they had in them. Somebody named Roy, somebody named Sean, somebody named Dave and Peter took it out of them.
Well,
Maybe their
that's
mama,
this.
maybe their dad took it out of them. You know what
What's
I'm saying?
unfair
So
about this? You're right, but what's unfair about that?
exactly. So now it's like we said that trust. So it's like you are, like you said, some people may become that, and maybe they don't want to be, but they know that they have these children. They do their best, like most of our parents did, like mostly we do, before we have an enlightenment that we suck ourselves. Um, some people do the best that they can, operating and surviving the best that they can. And even though they may not be the best mother, some of those children they eat, they have some place to sleep, or things like that. So their basic needs are met, but maybe their emotional needs are lacking. But that doesn't mean that she necessarily didn't try. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, but I dispute that. You
All
didn't,
right.
and let
I,
me tell
I,
you why.
let me just say a short step. I think that we were trying to say is based on a angle where it may lead to the creation of son husband, which is called to the side of the boy, and to the daughter you get the Mr. Independent, I don't need a man kind of daughters. So to speak. I think that there's a slight angle to that. I think what Sean is speaking upon because as I'm listening, and I'm listening to the point, and I have to ask myself, if you refer to that particular group of people, which I totally get it, but I may be
I'm
wrong.
not trying to say people. I'm just trying to base on the 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 topic he's talking about, women and what they do, not oh who this woman, not this single mom. No, I ain't talking about that. Not
So,
talking about that. We're
so,
talking
so,
about trust and how it relates to how you then start having behaviors to your responsibilities or people that you're connected with.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Now let me ask you this
behavior
question.
wise.
Let me ask you this question. Uh, when you just said that, are you speaking that generally, um, women uh take on the obligation of a mother and they do it well?
I would say most, yes. Do they get it right all the time? No.
I, that's so. If you took a test, right,
I don't get
and
all the right all the time,
no,
and
no,
I think I'm
no,
pretty
listen,
okay.
listen, listen to what I said, because my last part of that question was, and they do it well, and you said yes, and I said if you took a test and you tried your hardest, but you failed that test, would you still say you did well on that test?
I'll say yes because if I put all my effort into it, that means I put effort. Yeah.
That doesn't, but that's not.
Maybe I'm not pro. Maybe that's why they have categories. Like I may be There's expert, there's proficient, there's intermediate. Maybe I'm intermediate in 2025, but next year I'll be proficient.
But I
So
mean,
everybody has room to grow.
but that doesn't dispute. That doesn't negate the question that I
So
asked.
okay, now that you had women, right? So
Wait,
where do
wait, wait, wait.
men? Okay, hold on,
Men,
hold on,
men, men
hold
too.
on. No, we're gonna put the men in here.
We
So
can
where
put
do
them
the
in.
men? Where do they place in this
Well, well,
logical stuff? Because
okay.
obviously
Let me.
something's missing.
Well, let me say
Because
that.
they can't make emotional connection. So, like you said,
Well,
there's a disconnect. So, when are you going to be logical to connect to your emotions to know that, okay,
okay.
cool, I understand where you're
Well,
coming
well,
from?
let's start with I will ask a man the same question. If
Okay,
you,
ask them.
if men, if you did had a test and you failed the test, would you say you did well on that test?
Ask that
Man,
question one more time.
if you the same question I asked her, if you had a test and you
You can get
failed
it,
the
but you didn't
test,
pass.
would you say that you did well on that test?
No.
Man, that's Peter. David.
If I took a test and I put my heart in it and I failed the test, I'd say I failed.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board, figure out where did I miss the mark. I get that
So,
logic,
so you wouldn't say
and
you
that
did well
logic
on
is
it.
kind of hard to address.
So you wouldn't say you did well on it, right?
I
Craig,
wouldn't.
if you took a test and you failed the test, would you say you did well on that test?
Depending on what the test is.
No, no,
You
I
didn't
don't want to
say
go into.
fail. You didn't say you didn't
I
pass.
don't. No, no, no. It's just a real simple. Any test you take, if you failed it, did you do well?
I thought I'd give it a good try. I don't know if I'd fail. I don't know if I think, but at least I gave it a go.
Okay, so this lends to the point that I was making. Uh, doing well is very specific and defined.
Did you try your best? That's
No,
my
I didn't.
question.
But I didn't ask. Did you try your best? I said, did you do well? It got translated to I tried my best, and this happens often. Is the reason why I bring it is why I'm bringing it up. Is it happens often that it's translated to I did my best, and that especially when it comes to motherhood, I did my best. I hear it from women all the time. But does that mean you did well?
Well, the thing is, that means you are doing well because at least you're being
Hmm.
transparent and being truthful. If I sit up here and lie, and then I can go to the back and then or ask my children, well, she doesn't do this, she doesn't do. I'm you. Anybody can lie.
So is it a
Anybody can
lie?
pose. So I would rather hear somebody say, I do my best, and I can respect that because that shows the human side of it. Okay, I can trust that.
You,
Like you said.
you actually you. I agree with you, but is it a lie that you're saying you did well? Isn't that a lie? You didn't do well.
Okay,
You
then so let me ask
Let
you,
me
yes,
does anybody ever pass?
yes, absolutely.
Okay, what did you pass with your whatever test that you're trying to assume? You saying motherhood. So where did you pass in your fatherhood?
I passed in my fatherhood, being reliable, consistent, and honest with my child.
Don't
And
ask
then
me. Don't
that
ask
what
me to
everybody
answer
does.
that question because I wouldn't
No,
know.
that's not literally. That's not what everybody does. That's the point that I'm making. For example, what you just said, and this is not. This is I'm doing it as an exercise, really, because it goes into translating well versus failure. I can say that I failed. I know where I failed as a father. I can say that. I'm not ashamed of it. I
So
understand it
why are you making a division of it then? Then that's what I'm saying. You
because
did your
this.
best, so you didn't do
Let,
well.
let, let, let me answer. Let me answer my question because in order to do better, I need to measure it against something, and I measure it against my failure. And I'm not saying
Learn
that
from your
so that
mistakes.
I can get better, I need to understand what failure is. If for example, 55 is a failure. When I was in the ninth grade, 75 was a failure because I got skipped. So 75 was a failed grade. So even though it was for the average person, a 70 was passing and it was still a C, it was a failure for me because we didn't pass and get to our next stage of being able to graduate from one grade to the skipping one and going to the next if we got less than that. So we failed. So we couldn't fail in that regard. And we couldn't say, well, I got a 70, so I did my best, because it would not allow us to get this. We might get to the eighth grade, but we won't go to the ninth grade, which was our goal.
I get the logic behind it because I think this is something that we have in the American society when it comes to their brutal honesty. When you ask that question, if you took a test, if you failed the test, you did well. Today's society will say, at least I did my best. But if you go back to the good old 80s, pass is pass, fail is fail, regardless if you study or you didn't study. If you didn't pass it, you didn't pass it. All you gotta do is force you to go out to the drawing board and look at what question you missed, what did you go wrong. Now you apply that to parenthood. I'll be frank with you, and I'm seeing in today's society, not a lot of parents not willing to admit they failed their kids. They're looking to point fingers, looking to say, I did my best. What if that best was not enough? What if you could have done better, but you chose not to? These are the type of questions that I think a lot of parents don't want to face or want to admit because it's something that happened with my late mom. But I brought a lot to her attention. It's funny how almost a year before she passed, I brought a lot into her attention with grace without trying to have no shouting match. And she act like she don't remember. And I look her dead in the face like, you don't remember the thing, but I can hear that you talk about X, Y, and D. Remember a lot of like, are you choosing to remember what you want to remember, or you just decide not to hold yourself accountable for these things? And these things, I'm not gonna lie to anybody. Either we can argue that it doesn't, it does affect us because when you have parents who don't hold themselves accountable, and as a child you're seeing it, you may end up psychologically repeating that same pattern and pass it down to the next. When I talk about generational curse or passing out a curse that you don't realize you are doing that
Mm.
based on certain behavior traits. So when you ask that, when I'm listening, I was like, not too many people want to be transparent and blunt. How I know I pass? If I see my some of them doing such stuff, I mean, whatever I've been drilling into them, it came through and they picked up on it. And maybe at the last cycle, they decided to do like they did the fourth quarter. They pick up the pace and they would have put down, say, yes, I've done my job. But there are plenty of parents who didn't do that. They think they did well, but looking at their resume, child locked up, their daughter got multiple baby daddies, or this one's on the street, you ask yourself, how you say you were a great parent, but your resume say otherwise. So I get the logic. It's very hard to just to put a finger on it when people are not willing to, how you want to say, put the mirror to the field or put themselves in the hot seat. Sometimes, yes, you can try and be a great parent if you feel like you do gonna be, but if you're not, with the word critical, I'm a critical thinker. If I don't do well, I beat myself up. That's something I normally do. So I don't say I'm a great parent. The only way I can tell I'm a great parent if I see the progress, if I see the work showing itself. I don't give myself credit unless it has been, how you would say, like my work speak for itself. That's a lot that I carried throughout my life, and I realize why people before me have said that. They don't say I did great. They will say let my work speak for itself. Meaning, if my work speak for itself, turn out to be great, then you know what, I'm a great person. I did well. If not, then I have to be held accountable for. I think that's something that's not being taught in today's society. So when you were asking that question, I was listening and looking, pay attention to every detail. I was like, I think this is something that I think a lot of adults need to ask themselves that question, but put themselves in a hot seat. Do you think you did well? or you think there's something you're lacking, or you think you might have overlooked this, or you may have overlooked that. I think based on the topic of the show, if you trust yourself, how much do you trust it though? Are you able to trust it to know what you do? Are you able to be critical to I need to change that part about me, I need to change that part about that. So when that question pop up, it does make a very critical and logical sense of why you're asking that question. It's hard to address individually unless you're open to be taking what they call sound judgment.
Well, yeah, and quite frankly, I did it as an exercise because you asked me to ask the question, and I asked the exact same question to the men, and their answer was 3 out of the 4 of us was definitively what it was. They did you do well? They said no, no. It was Peter, myself, and David said no, we didn't do well, and yet the miscommunication comes in because we have a different idea of the same word. So passing or doing well is I think the question was, if you failed, did you do well? And you said I did my best, and my question wasn't did you do your best. My question was a very simple yes or no, and it you kind of it went in the direction of I did my best.
Okay, but okay, this is what I'm saying. See what happens, or like you said, the miscommunication with men and women. Understand, you guys are performative. That's how you operate. We operate differently. So if I'm admitting doing my best, that means um putting your intention and the emotion, you know what I'm saying, your intention behind it, you know what I'm
Right.
saying. So
I
when
I
you guys want to be, like you said, it's different, it's the same importance, but that's how we work together to hold everything together. So if
but
you, maybe I did something that made up for you not doing well, you know what I'm saying, that's why we need each
right.
other
Well, I
in that
agree.
chain.
I agree. We bring balance to each other, but we have to really understand and be accountable for what it is that we are good at. So,
Hmm.
being able to reassure and make somebody feel good about what it is that they're doing is something that you guys do much.
Mr. Elf, if you want to come up, the link is here. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, Elf, come on up. It's right up there. Come on up.
So here's where my little pushback is. Um, we might fail, and I said
Hmm.
yes, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna stop there. Again, I'm a psychotic person, so I don't stop till I make my point clear, till I pass. Failure is a stepping stone of my success.
And I think I can agree as well. And the funny thing is that when you said we're performative, what's going on, Coach?
Coach
Thank
Berg
you
in
for
the
joining us, Coach Fur.
building.
But
The OG has
yes,
come.
what you just said, Stephanie, you said that you guys are performative first. I believe that we are all have the same attributes and abilities. We exercise the ones that we feel most comfortable in. For example, they say men are emotional, and I mean, women are emotional and men are logical. That we both are emotional and logical. We just
Yeah.
exercise our logic often more than our emotion, and vice versa. You guys exercise your emotion more than your logic sometimes. But the point is that understanding we both have both attributes, so we both can be. You guys are very what was the word that you used?
I used a whole bunch.
Per, Start performative. You
Yeah.
guys are very performative when you want to be
Yep.
in settings. So to say that men are performative and you're not would just be disingenuous. We choose when we want to be performative. We choose when we want to be emotional. We choose when we want to be logical, and we choose when we want to be the opposite of that. And until we are able to embrace our choices, we run into these cycles of miscommunication and not knowing each other and not understanding and giving Coach Ferg a headache. Go ahead, Coach. First,
Coach is refreshed. He got his sunglasses on. What
I
is
saw
it?
it from his
Coach
head.
what?
So Coach Ferg,
Berg. Oh, I like
welcome,
that.
welcome. We were speaking about a couple of things. I don't know when you
How
joined
y'all
us.
doing, man?
We're doing well.
I sort of heard about the test. Did I do well if I failed the test? And some of these choices that you just named off. I can't really always choose when I'm going to be emotional. Can't choose that. Someone dies, I'm going to get emotional. I see a sad movie, see a cat get ran over, I'll get emotional.
Aw.
But, I can't choose those. I guess I can choose how I respond in my emotions, but I can't choose times when I'm going to be emotional. I can't dictate how people treat me. I can just control how I respond to those actions. Really, that's the way I see it.
I agree with you, and I wasn't saying that we choose when or not.
No, stay
Or
on it, Sean. Stay firm on it. What you saying?
no, I'm not
That's
saying
what I thought he
I'm not
said.
saying the timing of when we choosing it. I'm saying
Mm.
we choose. For example, we practice to be numb to our emotions. Men often have done that since we were kids. We have practiced to be. We have been taught to. Oh, shake that off. Stop crying. Be rough. We've been trained that way, and we start practicing that at times. Whereas, go ahead, let it out. You can go ahead and cry. Yeah, I have been practicing to do opposite that, but we have the ability to do both with the practice.
I mean, I agree with that. You do have the ability. At some point, as you grow older, you develop that ability to sort of manage that. But I don't see it happening before a kid is 8, 9, 10 years old. I don't see it. Yeah, and by far, I compartmentalize things like that. Like I never heard my father tell me, "Suck it up, stop crying." I never heard him say that. You know, but as a kid, a young man, you don't want to cry around certain people. Your father, your girlfriend. You don't want to do it, but what's that?
This is the video that actually.
Oh,
Thank you, Dave, for
Lord
putting it up.
Jesus.
But go ahead before we play the video. Finish your thought, Coach.
No, I mean, so, and again, this is a different time of man, a different type of man who's been sort of programmed under a woman's leadership. So that could be the problem with men of today. When you've only been taught how to respond through a woman's lens, then it can be complicated. I see it more so today. More guys focus on, what their feelings are and what event happened and how they didn't respond 25 years ago. And we all know hindsight is 2020. So of course, as 18, 17, my response is not going to be the same as an old 50-something-year-old. And I think most men don't, they try to keep it all in one life. I mean, what I mean is they're trying to take 18 into 40, 20 into 40. You can't do that. You sort of got to just keep it all separate and understand that life is about the ups and downs, the ebbs and the flows. It's part of the growth foundation. So at 50, the same stuff that used to get me worked up at 30, I should be able to have greater control over that emotionally. I wouldn't want to be crashing out on people just because they said I'm light skinned and ugly. I accept my ugly truth, so you can't say anything about me physically to hurt my emotions. I'm ugly to some women. I can accept that. Cool. You ugly to me too. I'm just not gonna, oh, you call me ugly. See, no, I ain't gonna do all that. And I think that's where a lot of you, but that becomes with teaching.
Ugly truth,
I'm just saying,
Willie.
I'm a Gen X, so I can say stuff back. I'm still being worked on. So, If you say if you and I don't mean I just do it just to take the pressure off. I'm not gonna disrespect you and call you out your
Coach,
name, but I will
coach,
find something that I can laugh about and call it out. Keep it moving. I ain't gonna come back the next day. I just let it go. I'll shut
coach.
up.
Ugly truth, you're a pretty boy,
Man, listen,
coach.
man. See. People make listen. What you saying is crazy because females used to make the same assumption when they see me pull up. And yes, when I'm outside, I like to dress for the occasion. I want to smell good. I want you to look at me and be like, "Damn, he's fine." That was my mindset. I didn't want to have to do a whole lot
Can
of
I say
work,
something? Can I say something?
but 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 I was the same dude.
According to Paul Bennett,
But
you be flexing too
but that's when
much.
I
Oh,
was
Jesus
younger. But at
Christ.
the same time, though, I don't mind getting my hands dirty and showing you like I can change your brakes and do your oil and fix all the loose furniture that the old boyfriend left loose, tighten up your kids' beds. I
Question,
can do all that.
question. When you change the break, you have your shirt on or it's off? Which
Oh,
one is it?
Which
David.
one? Say it
Pause.
again. What?
No Diddy.
Oh, it's no
No.
good.
What? What he
No
say?
Diddy, David. Come on.
What he
No,
say? When I change the brakes?
don't take my word
I'd
for
be
it. Ask
running the
Paul
other
Bennett.
way.
I never.
Paul Bennett, no.
He's
Ask
an
Paul
old.
Bennett. Paul Bennett called him out
All
several
right, y'all.
I
times
I
for
never take my shirts
flexing.
off. I don't let the world. I
All
wear
right, this
tank
got a
top.
little
Yeah,
freaky for me. Way
Ladies
too
and gentlemen,
freaky.
we are in the second half
he
of the
asked me,
show.
did I take my shirts off, man? No, I didn't take my shirts off. You have to. A woman had to
David
get
is
up and feel this
banned.
muscle.
Man,
No, I'm taking my big brother Paul Bennett side because he be saying coach have been flexing a little bit
No,
too much
man.
as of late.
Listen, you talking the picture I showed, like when I was in the military, it's 125 degrees in Saudi Arabia. Everybody had their damn shirt off. I had the body of a Greek god when I was younger. So whenever and it was and listen,
I'm
I'm being
offended.
no, but it's crazy. We were listen, we were in a compound. Listen, fellas, we were in a compound, a military. We
Uh-huh.
created a compound in Saudi Arabia. It was 500 females to 42 men. That's where I was stationed at in Saudi Arabia. So every chance I got to take my shirt off when they was getting off work, preferably, I used to be out there with my shirt off. Yes, so they can see all of this. And I
oh
had
man,
fun. I'm just
I am
saying.
not mad. And that's why we call him the coach, y'all.
But that was, 24, 25, up
Oh
until
man,
like
As he said,
40.
body of a Greek
But I
god
didn't
on the
but
chest.
like when I met women, I very self I never took my shirt off around guys. If I play basketball, I want to be shirts. I ain't like men's skin touching me. But women, I didn't show
Ugh.
my body off
Buddy.
until they got in close and personal and
Coach, if
started
you took your
touching.
top off in front of me, I would
oh,
leg it 100 miles down the road.
oh
I
man.
mean,
So yo, what we gonna do is we're gonna reel it in a little bit.
let me shut up.
So coach, to you and
You scared the crap out of me,
uh
dude.
the Bushman, how are you,
Bush
sir?
Bush Tucker,
Uh
man.
BTM, how are you, sir?
G'day, how we doing, blokes? G'day from
Doing
Australia, the bunker down under.
all
I
right. We
put my
got
Steve Irwin outfit on just for the show. Hold on, where's my
man,
hat?
All
man,
right.
we got
Jim
Australia, we
Crikey,
got
fair
UK,
dinkum, mate. Oh,
we
yeah,
got
no, fair
Oh, I
dinkum,
want
too
one
right.
too.
yes, and
You
we got
gotta
all
have the old Aussies.
so I just want to
Uh,
let y'all know the topic. We kind of stared off the topic, but we're gonna reel it back in. The topic was
No,
only
not
person
yet.
you can trust is yourself. That was the topic that we've been discussing, and we what we came up and what we concluded is that a lot of times the lack of trust or not being able to trust comes from trauma, pain, circumstances that we've been through that sometimes we haven't let go, or sometimes that we're still dealing with the people who caused that pain. And so being able to trust them or other people is a difficult thing or a challenging thing. So we're now discussing if that is a reality in your lives. Is that a reality from your perspective? And if so, how do we go ahead and address it? And how do we go ahead and be able to get through it? Because we also said those who can't trust can't be trusted. Now, the video that we're about to play kind of reflects a person. Well, I'll say what it reflects after we play the video. So go ahead and play the video, and then we'll start commenting on this video.
Okay.
First town.
We can't
No
hear it.
sound, David.
David?
See,
I'm here. I was just moving my Starlink dish. I'm in the outback, mate.
Oh, not you, boy. There's another David.
David, can you hear us, man? Because we can't hear you.
Headphones.
David, we can't hear the sound, brother.
David, do you know what the hell you're doing again?
He ain't even responded.
Well, let me tell you what the girl is saying. She's like, "What do you mean? What?" Actually, I got this video
I
from
just
your
think
channel, Stephanie.
it's men and women situations from a different mindset. Like you say, one's logical, one's emotional, and men want to order the world, and women want
Send me the link and I'll
to
share it.
care for it. And it's just the way it is. And together, we should be able to
Break it up.
work well. And it's like the same thing. As long as you tried your best, it's just the way we look at things, right?
And I think you have a very valid point. And I think that is, if we're going to go into typical roles of men and women, and being able to embrace those roles is sometimes was challenging. And Dave, no, we didn't hear the video whatsoever.
Okay, I'm about to act that one.
No, man, we was telling you.
We share it. Let me share it again.
Okay.
Something was wrong. Window. Share it. Please share it.
Do you want me to share it if you send it to me?
And we wrestled with that reality. What you just said, BTM, is we had the ladies speaking from their perspective, and we were speaking from our perspective. And I think a lot of times our perspectives are genuine and valid. It's just that we have different ways to communicate it. So, for example, when we was just doing the exercise, I asked
You got to
the
think about it
ladies.
in terms of like the village, right? If you're raising a child, they need both. Even if you do fail, you need your mum to tell you, yes, you did your best. But you also need someone that's logical as well that say, no, you got to try harder. Then we'll just help to teach you more, right? There's two approaches to it, right?
I agree, and those two approaches is what we advocate and trying to get everybody to get some balance. I think what is the man's purpose in life is to bring balance to a woman. What is a woman's purpose in life? To bring balance to a man. So to your point, we bring balance to one another. I agree wholeheartedly.
So, so, so
I think
Go
that's a
ahead,
very
Fred.
wholesome idea.
a man's
Yeah, I
purpose
think that
is to bring
should be the
balance to a
greatest. I
woman.
don't think we should be differences and arguing about it. I think it's them and celebrate them.
You're breaking up a little. You're breaking up a
Sean,
little.
what made you come up with the idea that a man's purpose is to bring balance to a woman?
Because that's what we do.
We order the world where they want to care for it, and that's what we do together. They want to care for the world, and we make it orderly so they can do it, right? And we need each other to make this facilitated and have a wholesome, like, village, right?
But, but
That's a good way to look at it. But I want to hear your point of view, Coach Ferg. What
I don't. To me, I don't think it's a man's purpose to bring balance. I just think that that's innately within a man. Once he comes into a woman's life, he brings balance to her. I don't think it's something that he has to pursue in a
well,
one.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
I've never
Well, isn't that the same thing?
spoke to.
If it's
Yeah.
innately inbuilt,
You don't pursue
wouldn't
your
that be
daughter, but
some
you're
kind of
still in her
way to
life to bring
describe it?
balance
Right.
in her life. So it doesn't really matter. Like I said, there's different there's different types of relationships. There's the friendships, there's the, the sexual relationship, there's the
And
familial relationship. So
I believe it's
it,
extremely important for a daughter to have a father and a son to have a mother. You know, that cross gender bond to an adult who's got stable hormones as you're growing up as a teenager keeps you in check. All right. And when you don't
But
have that around
yeah,
you,
that
like the opposite gender to say, hey, don't be mean to your mum if you're a young girl, or if you're a young guy, you don't have your mum yelling at you, don't fight with your dad. You know, it's the same thing.
no, yeah, but that brings balance. Yes, having those resources, having those individuals in a young man and young woman's life definitely brings balance. But I don't think it's a man's purpose to do that. To
well,
me,
I don't want to
I
get
just
I don't want to
yeah,
get
I just
stumbled on the
trying to
word
understand it.
purpose. I understand what
Oh,
you're saying, and I'm not.
well, words have meaning. So when I hear
Well,
certain, I need
well, I'm
to.
using it. I'm using it loosely. It has context as well, and I'm using the context loosely, so that we could get to a general point. And the point is to your point that you just made. You said that it's innately there, but we don't exercise everything that's innately. That's what we were just speaking about with mothers, and sometimes them not doing some of the motherly things. Well, men as well don't do innately what they were supposed to do. Often it's something that's practiced and something that we have to actually execute to be able to do it well.
But
I
Sean,
think there's,
okay,
I think there's a fundamental social problem going on in society, and you know, it wasn't uncommon for like someone in the Middle Ages to just profess their love in the middle of the street because they didn't have this hookup culture. And if you were going to like be in love with someone, you stood out the front of their house playing the stereo, singing like some punk rock song that you're in love with her. You know, like you made those big gestures, and it needs a big problem there with all that kind of thing.
You're breaking up a little, but I think we got the gist of it, and I think none of us disagree with what you're saying. And Coach Ferg, you were saying,
well, that's I guess because okay, if I have a purpose in my life, right? I'm just saying, just in general. I just use myself as an example, and I'm going to use Stephanie, right? So I'm on a purpose, right? It's in like I don't even know Steph. I don't matter of fact, I'm single. I ain't got no woman. Everybody think I'm ugly. I'm just doing my thing. I'm trying to build myself, whatever expectations I have of that, because YouTube, I ain't met one person yet that don't make $100,000. But I'm just building myself. I'm just working, right? And then I meet a woman, right? Uh, I would think based off the person that I am, if I'm a disciplined man, a purposeful man, as far as me building my legacy, outside of a woman, getting my skills set up, working, exercising, eating right, praying, doing those things, right? I think that's purposeful. And then if I meet Stephanie, I believe that just innately, if she sees the way I'm moving within myself, I think that that would provide her some stability and some balance and a form of security. So she may just start recipro- not reciprocating, but imitating what she's getting from me innately. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
okay, but that wasn't
This
innately.
is
What was
the
she doing?
exact thing I was
Because,
saying earlier that
well,
men will order
okay,
the world so women can care for it. You know,
Yeah.
like there's a reason
and,
we have bridges across rivers, and it's not women building them to impress men. Men put the bridge there to impress women, right? That's how the world
and that,
works. That's why men
and,
do
and,
shit.
Or to just get to the other side of the woman.
no, but that's the whole thing. That or to is really
It's
disingenuous
gotta get
because a lot of our root is to actually impress a woman. You said purpose. You don't have a woman yet. You aren't getting the attention from a woman, but you meet Stephanie.
no,
That's what you wanted. You wanted the attention of the
no,
woman.
it's not what I wanted. I wanted those things for myself. But
But
again,
what good is it doing? You still have them for yourself. What Stephanie got to do? So why you
she
get by yourself when you meet Stephanie?
said again, why what?
Why aren't you?
Can
Why don't you stay by yourself when you're
I
with a woman?
interrupt for a moment? We're just talking semantics.
Because
What
Stephanie,
one is like a primal thing, the other one says, and we're talking about the same thing, right? It's just, a good man has good woman, let's be good, and it's innate, inbuilt, it's genetic, and that's the human condition. We wouldn't have survived for like hundreds of thousands of years through cosmoses of chaos if we were just going to fight with each other all the time. That's not true. Humans are generally pretty chilled out, man, and we're pretty monogamous, and just don't mess with my wife, and we're cool.
Well, I mean that's theoretically that's not always true. Um, monogamy is a mindset.
Actually,
And
if you look at genetic evidence going back even before humans existed, going back to Neanderthals and Homo habilis, there seem to
well, that's if you
be
believe
monogamous societies.
That's if you believe in Neanderthal
So
existed. But the point being is that
you're
I'm
wrong.
not disputing. Let me finish. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing what you're saying. I'm just saying it's a mindset. Obviously, we had to. It wouldn't. We
Yeah, I
wouldn't
do
have been
believe. I
able
so
to.
believe in round Earth. Oh, don't get me started on
Logically,
this.
we wouldn't
Kind
have
of,
been
No,
able.
we're
can you
not,
cut him
we're not
off?
going.
You have to let him finish his point, please.
Logically, we wouldn't
Okay.
have been able to populate the world if it was monogamy only thing that existed. That just wouldn't have happened.
No, I'm not saying that there aren't like cave lords that have existed like Genghis Khan. Of course there have been, but that is not the default. If we go and look at the genetic evidence, right?
I mean, yeah.
Um,
I mean, what genetic evidence are you looking at that you're referring to?
I love anthropology and like human history and like psychometry and philosophy and all that kind of thing. And that's
Hmm.
why I keep relating everything back to the caveman in the village. And it's like I
Okay.
think we should be working together. Like you are a good woman, I'm
Who's talking?
a good man. Someone says it's innate. Someone says it's a primate. And I'm just saying the world would not exist as a modern functioning society. We couldn't have gotten along for like 100,000 years. We must have gotten along at some point, right? Or we wouldn't
I
be
mean,
here.
I agree with you,
And I
and
just
this is part of the semantics you're speaking to is that you're actually bringing up a point that is semantically, challenging, and because we were agreeing before we even brought in the word semantics, so
I,
semantics is what
well,
helped us
no, I'm
agree.
not saying you would disagree. Sorry, I'm not trying to have a go at anyone, dude. I'm just Aussie, and
Yeah,
my
yeah, no.
vocabulary is not the same as your guys, right? I just
Okay,
talk
cool.
differently.
let's
Well,
do it.
go ahead.
Let's
Absolutely,
play
I
the
agree.
video.
I agree. But Ferg, you were finishing your statement. Sorry for
No, I
interrupting.
finished, man. I'd rather just, let's watch the video because I'm interested to see what this young lady is saying.
It's crazy.
Because, when I hear my 40 and under speaking, it's always something interesting that they philosophize in their mind that
Yeah,
they want to
and this
share.
came from Stephanie. So here we go. Go
So
ahead.
I got a bank in the mail with an account that I don't know nothing about.
First of all, don't come in here yelling at me about no account. I have an account to make sure I'm good. That's why the account is there.
Why are you taking money out of my account while I don't know?
You are my husband. I have to make sure I'm good. I'm not. If we were to ever get divorced, I'm not about to be out here for nothing.
We gotta make sure we good. This don't got nothing to do with you sitting taking money out of my
Has to do
that I
with
work hard for.
Do you not work for us? Are we not a family? You want? Don't
This
you
is
want me to
working
be
for
good?
you. This ain't working for
No,
us.
it is. I have to make sure I'm good. I'm a woman. If you were to leave me, I need to be okay. What is the problem?
You
with
need
that?
to be a problem. You yourself.
What's wrong with you?
Listen, check this out. At the end of the day, you can account
Why?
for that. I work hard and struggle.
I have to make sure I'm good. I can't. I'm not about to argue with you about money.
You are selfish.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Everything I've done for us. Are you serious? You mad because I'm putting
Everything you done for who? Everything you done for me, I'm the one working. I'm the one putting in the time.
You cannot be for real right now, Keith. Everything I do for us, and you're mad that I put a little money to the side for me?
Everything you do for
Yes.
everything you do for
Yes.
you. Statement. It's just. I'm gonna tell you, man.
like.
Embezzling.
What am I gonna
She's
do about it?
embezzling the family funds.
I don't care about this right now. I'm
You know
so
what I need to
serious.
do with you? You know what I need to do with you? I need to account and stop sharing you. Cause that's the reason that's how you able to go in my.
She's embezzling the family funds. A little
And
bit aside for
and I'm
myself,
gonna
and it's like that's not
Hold on,
motherfucking money.
yeah,
no.
before we start, I'm going to say this. The topic is only
Complete
person you can
breakdown of
trust.
communication.
Boy, if you don't be quiet.
Hold on. The topic is only person you can trust is yourself. Now we're gonna start. We're gonna go in. We're gonna go in order. We're gonna go from Stephanie, then we're gonna go over to Coach Ferg, then we're gonna go down to BTM Bushman, then we're gonna go over to Peter, Dave, Craig, I'm sorry, Peter, Craig, Dave, myself. So Stephanie, go ahead.
What is the base question,
What was the
please?
question?
The
Yeah,
question.
restate it.
Well, it wasn't a question that I stated. The topic is only person you can trust is yourself, and we just saw a video that kind of reflects some of the trust or lack of trust in the relationship. What are your sentiments about it?
Well, she definitely was showing mistrust of her husband by definitely going behind his back. Um, you know, transferring money over to a secret account where she could have plainly asked, "Hey, babe, can I get an allowance or something, whatever, just put away money for myself?" Boom, easy. He could have, but it could have been a yes or no or whatever, or go out the house or seek another way to find money. But that was just very disgusting because now, even though it wasn't, infidelity, it was a type of sort of cheating. You know what I'm saying? Because he got offended because he's putting all this hard work and doing all these things for her, while he's expecting that, wow, this lady has my trust and my heart, while all the while she doesn't really trust him and she's kind of looking out for herself. But why would you do that if you got into a marriage which you guys are one? So I don't get that part. So she don't trust in the institution of marriage. She don't trust in her husband, and now she just disrupted the whole ecosystem of our household. Now her husband is not gonna trust her as a result of it.
Okay, good analogy.
I think
Coach Ferg.
that's a very healthy take on the
Wait,
situation,
wait,
to
wait,
be
wait,
honest.
wait, wait,
You have to
wait,
wait
wait,
your
wait,
turn,
Sorry.
Bushman,
We're going in
please.
order. We're going in order. Coach Ferg.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. A lot of what Stephanie said. When I see stuff
Sorry.
like this, right, and the fact that I've been married to my wife, I trust my wife. More than I trust anybody else. She has access to everything I have, and I have to her. If she's hiding something, she better take that shit to her grave. That's all I can say. Take it to your grave. Uh, and I don't. I guess I've always been this way when it comes to women. I like the women that I like. I don't care about what type of woman another man likes. And the woman that I like has to have personality, has to be able to discuss things other than people shit. I like a smart woman, guys. I like an educated woman. Lets me know that she's did something beyond high school. Her mind is beyond
I
frivolous
like a
shit.
woman that can help me do my tax return too.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, my wife do my taxes and
Wait, you got to
everything.
stop interrupting. You're
So
actually next. So just wait for a
yeah,
second.
yeah. So when I see stuff like this, a lot of sisters unfortunately get those wrong.
Agreeing though. I'm agreeing.
I know, but
My
agree
man, my
after you
man.
finish your turn.
Dude. Give coach time to finish, please.
Yeah, give me 1 minute. I want you to count 1 to 60, and I'll shut up. So in your mind, though, don't do it out loud. So when I hear women talk like this,
So
they get the wrong messages from other women. And I'm sure somebody's already the girl. You need to have your own, maybe a relative or somebody who's been married and divorced and can't keep a good man. They always got the best advice to get you back single. Because girl, we need to be miserable together. You can't leave me. And they give you messed up advice. And the guy's a hardworking guy. He's taking care of her. And one thing, guys, are especially in the midst of him working and trying to build, and she's taking money, talking about F the kids, F the family. This is over here in case you leave me. He ain't thought about leaving her since the day he met her, but she's talking about in case you leave me. She probably hyphenated her name. Fellas, if you meet a woman and she's not willing to take your last name, you be a fool to marry her. You be a fool, and don't be mad when she show up and snatch your damn name away from your ass. But yeah, when I hear stuff like this from women, yeah, I'm just glad that I don't meet those type. I didn't meet those type of women. I'm glad that stay away from me, those type of women, because I'm gonna save the dude. Like, man, she's not the one. And listen, you choose and do what you like with whoever you like, but don't come crying when she show up as who she showed you she was, and you avoid it. What do YouTube say? And this goes for men and women. When you avoid those red flags and shit, don't come crying because you don't get no pity. You get everything you signed up for. But yeah, man. Yeah, I would just change my bank account. She wouldn't have access to that shit no more. I give her ass $20 a week paycheck.
Yeah.
I, I 30. I 30. Depends on, but that's all she get. $30 a week is what? That's $120 a
Gas.
month. That's $120 a month. I'm working all day. You at home. Where you going at? Where you
Yeah.
going at?
All right.
Where I'm
All
going
right.
at?
Yeah, where you going? You ain't going nowhere.
Bushman, you're up next. Before you start though, we want to welcome Keith. What's going on? You'll be going in order. You'll go after Dave. Keith. All right.
No problem. Can
All
you
right.
hear me?
Cool. Yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
All right.
Good day,
Cool.
Keith.
All right.
And
So
in
Bushman,
relation to the actual video, I think it's um, pretty tragic that people have been traumatized and say that the only person you can trust is yourself.
Boy, that T-Moon and
And for some
Mugga.
people, the reality. But ideally, this whole idea that she's already started putting things aside just in case means she has no faith. Sad to me. And in that kind of case, when that keeps happening to people, it's like they do just depend on themselves. And I think it's not the right way to be. I don't think it's biologically correct. I think we need each other. Ideally, we should have each other, but the people that say the only person you can trust is yourself, whether they're men or women, it all stems from trauma. And I've been through that experience, and it's not really good. And I understand what the ideal should be because it just fucking sucks. But there we go. That's my opinion.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. All right, Peter. It is Mr. Sparta. It is on you.
So first of all, she had a lot of balls on herself to take the money out without his permission and saying, you have to do this. I don't have to do shit. I have to support our family, not you, our family. I have to support my kids. Now, anything extra, that's negotiable. But me telling me, oh, I gotta take care of myself, I would have ripped her head off with a silver platter. Simple as that. You'll be hearing this in my house. I am not even joking. Like, not literally, but you get the idea. But my point is trying to get to is to me, that's a gold digger 101. That's the type of woman I don't want to near my life. I don't want her even breathing in the same air. I don't want her even in the same planet with me. Get rid of this fucking twat out of my life.
Wow, gunshots and a twat, all in one phrase.
I don't know. That was a little bit extreme there. Over $20, bro.
Oh man. So before we gonna continue on, I think it was Craig, then Dave, then Keith. But I'm gonna first let me introduce Keith is here as well. We got Bushman from Australia. We got Craig from London. We got all types of United States in the middle. So Keith is
And
also
CBN
United
for
States
representative for Africa and the U.S. at the same time.
and Africa, Canada, Africa, and the U.S. with Dave. So we have a nice smorgasbord of people. Then we got Keith, who represents Brooklyn, Atlanta, via Atlanta right now, but he definitely represents
I
wholeheartedly
represent the ghetto.
Brooklyn.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
So yeah, so I just want to introduce him. That's actually my uncle as well. So what's up, Keith? And I want y'all to greet him warmly when he does speak. So with that being said, Craig, it is on you. Dave, you're next, and then Keith, and then myself, and we'll close
The way
out.
I look at it is if a woman wants respect, she'll have to earn it. Same as if a woman wants respect from a guy, the guy has to earn it from her.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if that was the topic or not.
Yeah, I mean, well, the video was the topic. What's your sentiments about it, about the video? And you summed it up real quickly and easily right there. You can leave it there unless you got something else you want to add.
I've got nothing else to say. Sorry, I wasn't paying much attention. All I got was from what everyone else was saying, that if a woman wants respect, you have to give it to her, but she also has to earn it at the same time.
Okay.
Same goes the other way. That's as far as I got the gist of it all. Sorry. I got distracted from all of it.
All right, it's all good. It's all good. All right, so Dave is on you. Watch it, y'all.
That video went viral for a good year from when I first came out. That's more like financial fraud, number one. Not only in the US, but also in Africa. Two, that is a breach of trust. It's not a regular breach, it's a severe breach. Okay, if I know African men very, very well, especially those from Nigeria, if you got to a hardworking Nigerian man and you find out you were siphoning money out of his account into your own account, if he can't hold that information, I would suggest you leave the continent and go to another continent. No, you think what I've observed in living in Nigeria, even I'm in it in present time, Nigerian men don't take that thing lightly. If they are busting you behind, putting money into the joint account that's meant for the entire family, and you are siphoning money out. That being said, if that was the case, this normally happen when he do pass away and he have a will. That woman is completely removed from any establishment or property he have. Also, she also get barred from it, meaning I've seen it, I heard it happen whereby if he tell his lawyer or his barrister to make sure she is removed immediately after the will is being heard, depending on who he get the property to, if she's not be removed, the lawyer or the barrister have authorization to get her arrested and taken out. That's the no joke right there and there. It makes no sense. You have a man trying to create an environment for his children and you think, oh, I need to look at. If that's the case, then you need to be by yourself. Now, in my point of view, if a woman do that to me, if I can be frank about it, I hope Lucifer is on your side before I get my hand on you. Because I'm not going to be working myself to the ground just for the sake of providing a comfort zone for my wife and kids, and she's going behind siphoning money out to a separate account, thinking she's looking out for herself, but I'm putting myself on the line, making sure you guys are taken care and you siphon the money. You might well just get a lawyer, find a safe house, and just appear and never come back. Because I don't take that type of concept too lightly. Yes, I am being recorded. Yet I'm stating that fact. If you're gonna do such a thing to me, then you might well just disappear and never come back. I would never ever want to deal with such approach because if that person can do that to you, how much more they can do beyond that level? But there is a level of trust is broken there. With me, I would have to rewrite everything. I would have to make sure you remove for my benefit, you remove for my trust, you remove for anything I'm planning to lead down the line. Meaning, when my time do come, I will make sure I put in the will. By all means, she is not allowed not to touch the property, the estate, nor the business, whatever I left behind. If she come near, she should be locked up and never be left out again. I will put that clause. Or if I want to go ballistic, if she does it, hire a hitman and take her out.
Wow.
Somebody's full of a lot of hate.
You said cannot be frank, and I was going, no, don't do it, no.
I mean, I gave the lawyer ample right to do what necessary to get rid of the problem.
Dave,
What?
Dave,
I don't like Peter's response. I don't like David's response.
My
Those
response,
guys need to be under
my response
surveillance.
come from experience, meaning when you break that level of trust. That's what I mentioned, Lucifer. Like you see that TV show, Lucifer. I hope he's on your side to protect you. If not, on your own.
Yeah. All right. Well, Dave, I'm going to stop putting you allegedly all of that stuff's internet.
Allegedly
We're
and
not trying to
frankly,
incriminate my friend Dave
if
on
you
this.
see me,
Allow him to
don't think of
incriminate
betraying
himself.
me. If you think of betraying me, then
Well, we understand. We understand, Dave. But again, we're just messing around. Thank you, Dave, for your response. I understand.
I know I sound brutal, but what women be?
Yeah. So with that being said, we're going to segue into Keith, my man, Mello.
Hey, what's up, nephew?
I'm
I
good, brother.
I got here kind of late. I didn't know how to log in. I'm the computer thing. But so far, what I'm hearing, well, I wanted to go about first, the trust deal. Can I trust myself? But,
Yeah, the topic was the only person you can trust is yourself. That was
yeah,
the topic.
only person. Well, at a time I couldn't even trust myself. I'm just learning how to trust myself today. But for the simple fact, I say that because I was living in denial, and as far as I wasn't dependable as I want when I want it, and I had no gratitude. And at this point in time now, as I'm starting to grow up as a man, I begin trusting myself because I trust others who they are. See, and the only way I can trust myself is by to show up. I have to show up mentally, physically, or basically mentally in all forms of my life. That allows me once I start feeling about showing up, then that's why I started that loss of trust in myself. It deceits itself. Now as far as the women concerned, I I can't see that far because I respect myself too much to I should see something like that is not going to happen. Because only way that can happen is if you open the door for that for that to happen to you, for somebody to snap, a woman to deceive you that way. So some way down the line, you ain't have the respect for yourself to have the respect enough to recognize a woman who will disrespect you. Because you know when a woman is disrespectful, you know on top, but you consider to mess with her. You still could deal with it. I don't know. It might be the poop hang. It might be the bang jugs going on. Hey, who knows? Or she might have blessed you downstairs a couple of times. Hey, but I know for a fact, and I'm learning this myself, to be honest, because I'm still young in my marriage, and I respect my wife more. I respected her more than I respected myself. That's what helped me start to get to, God put me in a place that started getting me clean and sober, because I don't want to lose her, because I respect her, and she respects me, and she respects what I'm doing, But I don't see, and I got a nice thick wife. I love it, I love every all 200 some pounds of that woman, but I had to learn how to respect myself. That's where my trust comes in. And and Sean, that's my nephew. He could tell you how untrustworthy I was. I could take y'all deep. And his mother sticks with his mother. My whole family loves me unconditional because I was conniving. Sneaky, every type of way you could think of. I did dirt to everybody in my family, and they still love me. And they had hope for me. And I say, before I leave this earth, I'm going to bring that hope alive. Not just for them, for me. But trust carries a long way. It goes not mentally, physically, and spiritually. If you're not spiritually fit, it's very hard for you to have trust in yourself or anybody else. So you got to be fit with your higher power, wherever in my God and my understanding. So I've been listening to y'all for about an hour or so, but I couldn't log in. I didn't know how to log in. I had to text my nephew and say, "How you log into those things?" I've been hearing some stuff, especially the sister right there. I had some man. I was trying to type comments in there. Does she see it? Does she see it? But
Man, Coach,
thanks for letting me share with y'all people. I approve of it.
Man, I see you, Coach Fred. But before you go, I want to say this. It's going to be hard for me to follow that up, Keith. I really appreciate that. That was very genuine and very, very meaningful. I'll share afterwards. But Coach, go ahead.
Just listening to my brother, right, without going into how you got into that space, right? What are some things you did to sort of get yourself out of that space? What are some things you did personally to get yourself to a better headspace to where you can begin to trust yourself, to trust your word, to trust your movement?
First, I got locked up. That was number one. It took somebody to hold my hand and won't accept my bullshit.
Okay.
And then it took me to get an open mind, start getting an open mind for people I didn't know at all. Because I'm down, like you said, I'm from Brooklyn, but I got locked up down here in Georgia. And I didn't know nobody down here, didn't know no one. And one of these counselors, a young counselor, gave me, she was my counselor. She said, "Mr. Anderson, why don't you just allow somebody to love you? That's my first test for you. Just give it a chance to let somebody love you." So I let these people. I finally opened up and stopped going against the grain against them, and I started opening up and recognizing these people are trying to help me. And then while they was trying to help me, I started loving myself because I started loving the accomplishments where I'm recognizing. I said, "Wow, I don't know it all. I'm a Taurus and bull. I'm supposed to know everything."
No, you're not. Don't go by the
Yeah,
signs, brother. That's the problem.
but
Don't go
see,
by the
I'm a
signs.
bull. I'm strict like that.
No, yeah.
So,
Don't go by the
but
signs, man.
I knew everything. I just figured I knew everything. But I realized today I
Yeah.
don't know nothing. So I just started having faith and started opening my eyes and I started learning how to listen. See, that was my part. I didn't know how to listen. I was hard headed and don't know how to listen. Today I'm learning. I'm still working on how to listen more, and having some kind of empathy for others and some kind of compassion for others. You know, and listen to their story and listen to what they say and listen and start to and get the understanding how to be me. See, the world is one thing. The world has a whole bunch of things, but it's not the world. It's me. I'm the one that's getting produced to the world, not the world produces to me. See? And I had to change. I had to change everything about me. I had to change the way I talk. My nephew could tell you, I used to curse every third word. Today I'm practicing not to tell a curse or nothing. I try to change it into and try to take that curse and put it into a word from the dictionary. Time,
So,
so that's just and just having and keeping peace. See, I know how to sit back with I learned how to be with myself for once.
so really quick, brother, how old were you when you started to make this
4
transition?
years ago.
No,
Oh,
so
oh
recently in your
yep,
life.
recently. Recently.
Yeah.
So
So, okay.
I spent 58 years of being a complete asshole. 50 years. Hey, I'm
What,
62. I'm 62 now. I've been I, spent- I
I
spent 50
mean,
years knowing it all, being stubborn, being sneaky, conniving, always wanted my way.
Mm.
was that a learned behavior or something you just developed on your own?
That was something basically on my own because I only had one person. I only had one person that was teaching me the right way, and that's Sean's mother, which was
And that was the one. Was that the one person you
I
trusted?
trusted her to the fullest. But
There
then
you go.
again, I always went behind her back and took things from her, and just like I took things from my nephew or whatever. My mother wasn't never around that. My mother had me at a late age, so she was already setting her ways. My father, he worked he worked all day, come home, did his thing, and went to sleep. My,
So you took advantage. So you took advantage
yeah,
of
because
them.
I was the youngest I was the youngest. I was the baby of the bunch, and I was spoiled. So
Okay. So it took someone else to hold you accountable before you started holding yourself
that's
accountable.
correct. It always did. And then when my
Right.
older sister, Sean's mother, moved out the place, I had nobody to hold me accountable no more. So I did what I wanted to do. I was at I was 8, 6, 7 years old. I'm at 11 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Yeah, you was doing too
Yeah,
much.
I did a lot.
Thank goodness
Yeah.
you're still
You know,
here.
I just wanted to have this conversation. Yeah, and I don't want to belabor it because you're not alone in that type of journey. I know hundreds of guys who've had similar, if not worse. And the fact that a lot of brothers like yourself are starting to come back out into society and still trying to find a way to make things right for themselves and their family. Just know that it's a never ending journey to be the best version of you.
Yeah,
Don't even put a time on it. Don't say in 5 years. Just live your day
one day at a
today,
time.
being the best version
One
of
day at
you.
a time.
Being the best version of you. And if you sold drugs, I'm gonna shut up. If you sold drugs like millions of other young brothers caught up in that time, it may be a good idea to lift some of that burden off you. Maybe just go back and find somebody who you know you sold to and destroyed their family and say, man, you know what? I
I
apologize.
stole drugs. I didn't sell nothing. I was too busy using drugs to great time to sell it.
Okay.
So I was that
Okay.
type of dude. So
So yeah, man, salute to you, man. The fact that, you know what I'm saying, you understand now that it's a greater purpose for you other than just falling under the subjugation of what was happening at that time. And believe me, man, I don't know if where you at, but I'm sure if you asked around, you can find 500 more
oh,
brothers similar.
I know it's a
That,
whole bunch of people like me. That yeah, I
that,
don't try
but
to turn it
but
on.
listen, bring them to this type of space so they can start getting the programming to know that they still can be okay. They can still make a better way, but it takes the work and it takes to having those conversations, takes holding yourself accountable and knowing that we all suffer of having similar experiences. Those things are support groups. That's a support
Mm-hmm.
that we can share that experience. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Not saying, just work. I work with guys like you. I had a client that had 165 years.
Man.
But then you think like, damn, what do you do to get 165 years? He walked in on a guy that was raping his child. So you can't even be mad at him in a sense. I've had guys cry to me, talk about they were great while inside.
Hmm.
So just having those experiences, man, I think it would help a lot of black men because when we carry pain in isolation, we ain't like women. The women will let you know from day one what she going through. Most men will fall back into the back and we'll just carry that pain. We'll
Careful,
self-medicate,
Cooper.
drugs, alcohol, and then we spend most of our prime years blaming ourselves. And it takes a hell of an experience, or even getting locked up. That's a hell of an experience, especially if you're going down. I ain't talking about going to the county. I'm talking about going down the road.
Yeah, been there.
That's a hell of an experience to go through, man. You're all alone in that whole experience. You definitely can't trust nobody while you're inside. So just salute to you, man. And listen, man, hopefully you can find brothers like you, man, and just get around and have conversations. Come to Sean. Sean will get y'all to talking about all that
Oh
good stuff,
well,
man. But it helps though
well,
over time.
he's one of my anchors. All my family's my anchor. This is my support group. But I have a strong network. It keeps me on a daily plea, one day at a time. And my pain is my strength. My mistakes is my growth. So, and whatever today, I don't swallow about it. I make amends where I can make it at, but I can't. It's about moving forward because I have a family that loves me. I have a wife that supports me 100%. Despite the things that she's going through, she still makes sure her husband's good. You know,
Yeah.
and
And,
mentally, spiritually, and I can't ask for no more. And then I got a God of my understanding who loves me.
man.
So,
And like I said a second ago, it's hard for me to follow that out. Yeah, give it up, give it up. Thank you, King. For a couple of things, a couple of things that I'm gonna start with. The subject was, and thank you all for joining me first and foremost, because we're gonna wrap it up here. Uh, um, Sparta, David, Craig, Bushman, Coach Ferd, uh, my special invited guest, uh, Miss Stephanie, the Wife School Podcast, as well as Alicia. Yes, as well as Alicia, who joined us earlier,
Yeah.
and who also. I want to thank you all for coming. I came up with this topic. Uh, only only person you can trust is yourself for a couple of reasons. One is because trust, I feel, is the foundation of most successful relationships, if not all successful relationships. And it being broken is very traumatic. It's I it's not a it's irony that my uncle's here right now. It's the Lord is what I would call it, because I thank you again for joining us, but I thank you specifically because we was talking earlier about with without those who can't trust themselves was something that I brought up. And I asked the question, what about it's easy to trust people that haven't done you wrong or that haven't, uh, you know, did anything that was disingenuous. But what do you do when it's somebody that has done you wrong? How do you go about it here? And y'all remember me asking that question, correct? Steph. And okay, so I say that because I promise you I didn't call my uncle up, but I said we have to learn how to get beyond that, because a person who can only trust themselves becomes naturally controlling and selfish, in my opinion. And a display of that was that video that we just watched. That woman really displayed how hurt, how she was really at a point where she didn't trust her husband to secure her. And so her reaction to that was doing something deceptive and doing something, conniving and manipulative. But if you listen to her, she was doing it all out of the point that the only person she trusted was herself. She didn't trust him. She didn't trust the Lord. She didn't trust anything that she vowed to. She didn't trust at all, which made her a person who can't trust, can't be trustworthy. Hence, that's exactly what we saw a result of, is what she was sitting there and arguing about it as if, she was right. It wasn't that she was trying, I don't know if she was just deceptive or manipulative, or that she was just hurt, and hurt people hurt people. I don't think her husband hurt her, which is the problem. I think life hurt her, and she found the person that can trust her and that decided to trust her, and then she wasn't able to trust herself, as my uncle just displayed. You got to start there by trusting yourself, and in order, once you learn to trust yourself, then you can start hopefully trusting others and understanding trusting others. And the reason why I said it was so powerful for him coming in, because he just kind of summarized everything we were speaking about prior to him even getting here. And that video showed that also, if somebody does you disingenuous, and they are making the moves, or they are making the steps, or taking the steps to take accountability, as my uncle just displayed he's doing, you can find grace to be able to embrace that, even if they done you wrong. And like he said, he's done our family wrong at times, but we also and I'm proud of where he proud. That's why it's hard for me to even try and follow up, because everything he said was so true and so genuine. And I salute you for that, and I salute you for coming to the show, because we're a living example of how only trusting yourself can lead to a place of abandonment, a place of lack of love. The only thing that love and trust have in common, things that love, is vulnerability. All afraid of that. We all have shown signs of vulnerable, because people have taken advantage of our vulnerability. People have hurt us through our vulnerability, used our vulnerability in their favor, and manipulated it, and used it deceptively. And that vulnerability is something that makes loving one another and trusting one another difficult. But as a testimony to what was just expressed between my uncle and I, and us being able to talk about it, not in detail, but just generally, uh, we allowed ourselves to be vulnerable, to be able to come back into a space where we can discuss and have grace and forgiveness, which is more powerful than hate and disconnection. So with that said, I thank you all again for coming and having a straight talk and where we're getting a straight understanding. And I'll leave with saying, without trust, there is no love.
Hold on. Coach, is it true that it was 125 degrees with your shirt off? It was like that.
Say it again.
Was it true that it was out there 125 degrees with your shirt off with 50 women for 7 dudes?
500.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was like 400, 500 women for like 30, 40 guys.
Man,
But yeah, I was in Saudi Arabia, man. That was right there.
man, I should
Uh,
enjoy the service.
straight out of basic training,
Like
man.
I enjoyed the service. I knew that.
Man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Service.
yeah, but yeah,
Told
I
you.
thank you all, man, and I didn't mean to get deep, and thank you for lightening it up again.
Yeah. I heard that. I was watching. That's why I was trying to log in on that point. I was saying, that made me say, Sean.
Yeah,
And why you thinking
I
Cole Hold be
mean,
telling don't show that picture in the background no more? Because he be getting tight about it.
yeah, man. And the funny thing is, you would have been a great recruiter sharing that story.
that was my favorite story to tell when I met somebody young, when I met somebody in ROTC. Because, hey, man, listen, man, I got some stories to tell you about that. We ain't
Well,
got the
guys,
time
he's
for
going
it.
to be on the gray area this week, so hopefully he tells us some more fun stories on the gray
Oh
area.
Lord.
Well, yeah. With that being said, y'all, I want to thank you again. This is Sean Bolden, Sean B. This is Straight Talk, Lisa Straight Understanding. Thank you for joining us for our first week. We're still working out some of the glitches, but it was a great show. It was a great guest that joined us, and I can't be more grateful that I had y'all all come on and share the moment with me. So thank you. Thank
Thanks
you,
for having me.
Sparta HQ Network, for hosting us. And stay tuned in for all the other shows. Peter, why don't you give us the breakdown of the shows
Yeah, I
coming up?
actually want to go with two things. Let's do a quick schedule update, guys, and let's get the heck out of here. And I want to show our. We had a small advertisement, but we didn't actually show it. But I at least want to show them their support. They're showing us. Tomorrow night, we are talking about the Muddy Ducks from Puck to Power. So it'll be interesting. David, give me that look. You're coming on tomorrow. And on Sunday, Coach will be my personal guest on the gray area, talking about his service time and coaching career. So
And all the flirting he did in the military.
Make sure I get the link
yeah,
early.
you are. Don't worry. I'm
Like,
gonna
Coach
text
gonna be
BME
talking
tomorrow.
for
Actually, set it
4
up.
hours. You got all
Yeah.
the stories.
no. Hey, that's football time, man. So I'm gonna be quick.
Watch out for them. My uncle's a diehard Detroit Lions fan. What other teams we got up here that's representing? Coach, who you representing?
I don't have a favorite team, man. I'm a coach, man. I don't get into
You gotta
all
be a
that.
Jet fan on this
He
channel.
waits till the end.
Uh,
I don't have a coach. I don't have a favorite team, man. I like football,
all
and I
tennis
watch
is
on
Pittsburgh Steelers.
women play football.
on anyway on Tuesday we're gonna be talking about love that leads love levels up.
Love that love levels
Oh
up.
Lord, Jesus.
Yes. And
Okay.
on Wednesday, the guys will be talking about comic book versus manga. Who are the difference and the
Now,
smellers?
I will say this as the host of that show. I know we have some comic book fans. I know we got some manga fans. We're going to
Oh,
step on a lot of toes. Either you like it or you don't. If you got the heat for it, bring it to the show because we are trying to get to a different area and go in a little deeper area because last show we were doing some breakdown was I'm hoping people will watch it and get on it to what we were talking about. This particular show on Wednesday, Marvel or DC, you can bring the heat. We welcome the heat. Because there's a lot of point that me and Wally will go into a little bit too deep. You might be shady with it, but it's a good discussion. If you want to come on a panel, then hey, bring your facts, bring your evidence. If we had to fact check you, we're gonna fact check you. Just let you know, we're open for a good, juicy debate. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
All right, all right. Any other announcements? Do you want to run the commercial?
Yeah, I was going to show the banner really fast, guys. This weekend, not this weekend, on the week of, I had the dates right here. I always forget the date on it. I thought it was going to kill me. The week of
October
the
10th
10th,
through the
the
12th.
11th, and the 12th, the Greek Orthodox Church of the Strasbourg area is having their annual Greek Fest. I will be there Sunday cooking my ass off like always. But if you're there, jump in and say hi. And also, guys, please don't forget. Me, David, and Paul will be at Comic-Con at the 11th. So make sure you come by and say hi to us. If you bump into us, I promise David won't eat you guys alive. I'll make sure he behaves. Except that, Sean, I don't have anything else.
All right.
Ready to close out?
Yeah, Straight Talk leads to Straight Understanding. S.T.S.u. Friday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be having guests join us. I want to invite you all to come up again. Stephanie, definitely thank you for being my co-host
I was
tonight.
gone half the show. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
My
we
connection.
appreciate your presence. Nah, yeah, your presence was there. So and it was there the moments we needed it. So it's all good. We thank you for that. Uh, we'll be letting you know in advance some of the topics and or guests that we will be having, and we plan on having quite a few. So join us at S.T.S.u. Join us here on the Sparta HQ Network. And I thank you for my co-host Stephanie and my other co-hosts who joined me tonight. All of you guys here on the panel. And with that being said, I bid you a fair au revoir. Au revoir.
As always, guys, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.